Hello, hello, and welcome to our latest episode of the Night Shift Let's Talk Gaming. I am CMoney, and over on that lovely side of the screen, you see the very lovely Doodle.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Thank you for rocking with us today. And I'm super excited, CMoney. I'm so pumped because
Absolutely.
we have the most amazing panel. Guys, thank you for rocking with us today. Get into it,
Absolutely,
C.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, as you can see, well, listen, let's start with the man who's making his return to the
Yes.
channel after being our first guest on Her, Him, and a Guest.
Woo!
I'm talking about the man that you guys see 5 times a week,
One and only, baby.
the
The one and
legendary
only.
Mr. Boomstick Excel, my man.
Let's
Welcome, brother.
go.
Thank you for being here, bro.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
I
you, man.
appreciate it, but to be honest with you, I think I'm starting to lose ground to Hargeet because he does a lot of podcasting. So I think actually he does more than me. But listen, when you guys asked, obviously I couldn't say no. I'm happy to be
Thank
here.
you.
There's a lot to talk about. Really, there is. Again, I think a lot of us have seen the way that the gaming media has lost their way. Instead of talking about games, they do ignite the fan bases to fight with each other, and they say that they don't like console war rhetoric. And a lot of us have been speaking out against that. And I want to encourage anyone that does have a YouTube channel to continue to do that, because the more pushback that we do, the less likely they're going to continue the kind of nonsense that's going on. But I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. And thank you so much.
Agreed. Yes, sir. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate you. And right there in the middle, we have the dude that's been rocking on our channel. I
All
feel
week,
like
baby.
for
All
all week,
week.
baby. That's where we're at. We're with the
Birthday
boy
Let's
himself, the homie Demo Flow Gaming. We just
Yo.
had a Her, Him, and a Guest with him on Tuesday. He's back here Friday for the night shift, celebrating his birthday. Thank you, my brother, for being here, man. Thank you so much,
Ya
bro.
tú sabes. Thank you for being here. Happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños.
Indeed.
Dale. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to share my birthday here, doing what I like to do, talking about games with the people that I like the most, right? Because I know they might not know me, but I know them, right? I know Mr. Boomstick and I know Heartgeek. I've been following for a long time, been listening to you guys' podcast. So it's crazy. It's like I'm like a little kid in the candy store. All right.
There you
So
go.
You're
thank
too
you
kind,
for
brother.
having me. Really appreciate it.
birthday.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And then
Ooh.
the man,
Yes.
the myth, the legend,
The wise one.
the
some may
wise
say.
one. The wise one indeed. The wise one that we will hopefully be seeing next week
Yes.
in PAX. The man who's back after his little trip. I'm excited. Harky City, man.
Let's
What's up, man?
go,
Thank you,
baby.
brother, for being back.
Welcome
Man.
back. And thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I guess I'm a regular now on Fridays, so we'll be here every Friday,
Yes.
6 p.m. Unless we do the
Absolutely.
switcheroo that we've done the last couple of weeks. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
more
You know, for sure.
yeah, more fun. Every week there's something new, right? There's always some more fun.
Something.
Today we had
It
the
never
nice little
fails.
PS5
Always some
Pro
more
with umpteen gazillion T-flops. Yeah, we'll see what that's like.
Oh yeah. You know what? Maybe we'll talk about that because I saw something briefly and I was like, oh my god! Like I almost didn't even think to even like look deeper, but maybe we could have some fun with the. Was it 67 T flops that the Pro is gonna be? Come on, man!
right.
I thought it was 18. They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
but yes,
it's gonna
guys,
look something like
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
There it is. Yo, guys, this is an exclusive.
It's exclusive. I didn't know.
Here first.
That's the PS5 Pro.
That's it.
We got the
It's
documents from our
about the
insiders.
size of a refrigerator.
Yep. Exactly. Well, guys, listen. This is a dope show. I love this Friday night show. It's like a nice recap for the week, right?
Yes.
Of the craziness that we had going on. But before we get started, shout out number one to everyone who is here with us in the chat. We
Absolutely.
appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking with us. So thank you so very much. And obviously, shout out to the homies who, support us through Patreon and our,
Thank you, guys.
members of our YouTube channel. We got our YouTube squad members, and of course, we got our YouTube elite members. We appreciate each and every single one of you. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all. I do see General Spartan
Ooh.
27 right here. I just turned 36 yesterday.
Happy
belated birthday, bro.
baby.
Nice.
Thank
is
you for
what's up.
rocking with us.
That is what's up. Happy birthday, bro. Thank you for
36
being
years young.
here. That's a nice age.
Youth, baby.
All right, before we get rocking, we do have some homies that we have to get to. We got the homie B Martin 001.
Martin.
Thank you, brother, for
What?
becoming
Let's
a member
go.
of the channel.
Thank you
My
so
man, we
much.
appreciate y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Woo, tell him.
A motherfucking welcome to the
Go.
in the chat. Welcome them to the channel, man. We appreciate you
Welcome, baby.
so much for being here. I want to see all of the emojis in the chat. Thank you guys so much, man. Appreciate you. And back B Martin,
baby.
man, with that $20 Canadian. Chat, man.
Thank you so much.
Just wanted to show some support.
Thank
Love
you.
the channel.
Oh,
Man, B Martin, we appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, and
Thank
welcome
you.
to the family. Shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada. Brothers
Thank
from
you.
the north. The homie Hooded Canuck.
Woo.
Oh man, member for 3 months,
Let's
bro. Thank you
go.
so much, man.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Thank
Says, hey, all, it's been a great 3 months with you all here on Point for Gamers.
baby.
I made some friends here and enjoy coffee time with you all every day.
Always.
Absolutely. Every morning's coffee time, baby. Come to Discord. We have a good time. Appreciate you,
do.
man. Thank you, my brother.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up indeed. The homie Adidas 20.
Adidas,
Thank you.
Let's go, baby.
My brother for being here, man. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Says in my Doodle voice. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
There you go.
Get it right, see?
I think
Adidas
you're
know
sounding
me.
more official than mine. I don't know. We have to let the chat decide who pulled it off better. And then, of course, we got the man,
Whoa.
Rocket Scientist
Rocket
in the building. Thank you,
Scientist.
bro, for that $2 Canadian super chat. Says CMoney, Doodle, Boom, Hargeet, Demo Flow,
Let's go.
no mustard. That's right,
Yes.
no mustard.
Oh, mustard.
You know that
God damn it,
there's
Hargeet.
a C
Mostardo.
mayonnaise running around. Did you know that?
See, is there?
Yeah, it was
C
in the
mayonnaise?
chat. It was in my chat today. You see mayonnaise. I'm like, did you not
Oh,
like
my
mayonnaise too?
No, I like mayonnaise.
I'm
I'm not a
confused.
crazy
Man,
mayonnaise person.
our son.
My son.
He hates
Son
mayo
hates it.
just as deeply as
As
and
I hate
olives.
and
Son
olives.
hates olives
God damn it,
Olives
Hargeet.
and mustard.
and
Sometimes
mustard.
I wear like
You see
a
what happens, Boom?
olive color shirt
Mustard,
or like
olives.
a mustard colored dress, just you know,
hilarious.
God damn
to
it,
keep
Hargeet.
things spicy.
Fucking Dreadpool sent me one of his shirts, mustard color.
We
Yes.
talked about that today.
That
As a
was
matter
amazing.
of fact, yeah, he said he made mention
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, no, I was laughing. I laughed out loud when I saw it.
Yeah, I put it
That
on
was
because
too
he sent it to
dreadful.
me, so
That
I'm gonna
was so
rock
dope.
it.
He
But that was
actually
wild.
meant,
You
he actually
baby.
said that you tried to fight him on and say it was gold, and he's like, no, the company
gold.
says it's mustard.
No, it's gold. It's we've all agreed in chat that it's Master Chief Visor's gold. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's the
Just
color.
all over your body, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, God damn it. No more. Eventually, thank you, brother, for being here.
Weird.
The community champ
Yo,
who's in the
champ
building
is
4 times.
building. Yo, you
Four-time
can't,
champion.
you can't dethrone this guy.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Amazing.
we're gonna have to bring him up to the big leagues and have him go up against
The
everybody.
1 minute.
We're gonna do like a battle royale in the summer. Watch, all you guys are gonna come. We're gonna set it up.
We gotta make
Everybody's
those
gonna be a part of
jerseys,
it.
baby. We gotta make
Boom,
those
we're gonna set it up
jerseys.
in the summer. We're gonna have one show where everybody's gonna get 1 minute to do it, and we're gonna see who wins at the end, who has the most. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good show. But yes, eventually in the building. Thank you, bro, for that $2 super chat.
The
Says,
champ.
hey yo, now this is an all-star panel. Salute you guys. Salute,
Salute, baby.
homie. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna do my doodle hearts
You
instead
do the
of.
heart salute.
um,
Man, you do it so like military, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I'm saying? You got to do it right.
I feel like I was going off to war and I turned around and saw you do that. I'll just put my bag down and say, fuck this war shit. You know what I'm saying? Go back.
You-
Let's go home. Let's make it happen. You know
we
what I'm saying?
would've
You
packed the
convinced
bag,
me to
baby.
stay.
We would have packed the bag. You know what I'm saying? You're going
Oh,
nowhere.
God. The homie, right, you are gaming, brother. Thank you for
What's up,
being here.
baby?
And again, my homie, thank you
Thank
for being a
you.
member for 2 months, man. Who else eating mustard and olives today in the panel? Hashtags only too broke to make PS6. Nobody's eating that shit, man. All right. Nobody.
Listen, the last time Hargeet took out his freaking mustard packet, he
Oh my
was
God.
downing them just to mess
that
with
was horrible.
you.
Ray did it
has
live.
done it.
Boom.
all right?
Question. We already
Yeah.
know that Demo Flow is a traitor. But you,
Oh,
where
what?
do you sit?
You
Where do you
betrayed.
sit for where do you where do you sit with mustard and olives?
I love them both, brother.
God damn it. A whole panel of betrayal.
Hey,
I like
we're not
mustard on
gonna
my
change
hot
you for food.
dogs. I like them on my canishes. I like olives in my arroz con pollo.
God
You
damn
know,
it.
Let's go.
Hey, you gotta put olives in
Listen,
there.
if you're eating
Yeah,
arroz con
dude.
pollo, then you
Oh
know.
yeah, I'm with her.
This is a betrayal. Okay, it's betrayal.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I love
Goddamn.
olives.
No,
They're great.
sir.
I don't know what's wrong
The
with
homie.
olives.
What's
man.
up, baby?
No, it's all disgusting, Hargeet. Thank you for that super chat. Says sup, Doodle, boom,
Thank you,
Hargeet,
baby.
and of course, C Mustard.
Woo!
God damn it.
one
Loving
and
the
only.
Hellblade 2 picks and the crying of the Hooven ones. Oh, we're gonna talk
Yo.
about those and we're gonna look at them because goddamn, boom, boom. We were just on your show. Okay, I was just on your show yesterday talking about what next gen looks like. When you were sitting there with your PlayStation 4 and your Xbox One, you're like, man, the PlayStation 5, the next Series X, whatever it's gonna be. Man, I can only imagine what games can look like. Well, fucking Ninja Theory has shown us today with the images they put up.
They sure did. Yeah, they absolutely did.
Crazy.
And you know what's more even
Crazy.
more telling? I don't think anyone really covered this. Those Insomniac leaks, if you like really looked into them. Now, Insomniac, in my opinion, tip of the spear for Sony. I think that is the cream of the crop for
They're
their
freaking
studio.
workhorse.
They're the workhorse for sure. But they were so impressed with Hellblade, they are going to try and bring their games up to that level. That's saying something.
It is. It is. And the crazy part, what's even more like telling about that is that they are looking at that benchmark, which is a game that we're getting in 2 months.
2 months. Yeah.
And they are trying to aim for that benchmark in a game that they're making 2 years from now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's
That's
wild.
wild.
It's wild.
Um,
I gotta get to the super chat real quick. Thank you so much, love.
Did you click it? Yes.
No, sir. And Demo
Thank you for that
Flow.
$2. It says and demo. My fault.
Let's go.
Listen, it's because you're in the middle and you're right underneath our pictures. I get
Yeah,
it. It's
can we do
sometimes-
that lifty thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna
What?
wear him like a goddamn superhero emblem. Are you ready? That's the way it's
I'm
gonna
out
go.
here,
Let's
bro.
see.
I'm out
Let's
here.
see.
There you go. There you go. Ready? It's gonna become. He's my superhero shirt. Ready? Boom.
Let's
Boom.
go.
There you go. Toma. All right. So I mean, listen.
Are you
since we
ready for the
kinda-
all new Mustardo?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Oh. I mean, that's a pretty impressive Mustardo. You know what I'm saying?
Go. Wait, hold
impressive.
on. Hold
I
on.
love how you captured my physique perfectly. Okay, spot on. God damn, I didn't even know. Wow,
Yo, what?
that's dope. I kind of want that. I like-
Huggy, if you send it to me, I will turn it into a shirt.
That's
That's
dope.
freaking
That's dope.
fire.
That's
Are you
really, really
are
good.
you saying
I will
that
send it to
Sea
you.
Mustard is going to be in the next Fortnite? Because that's what it looks like to me.
Oh,
We can make a revolution. Okay, we should do it.
embrace the mustard.
See mustard
Embrace
for
the
Fortnite.
mustard. You know what's
Yo, that
interesting? I
picture
didn't
is
even get a chance to
fire.
finish. I actually like all kinds of mustard: honey mustard,
Oh my
spicy
God.
mustard,
Why are you making
the
it worse?
brown mustard. The
You're doing that on purpose. You know, it first was just the chat, right?
Woman, join
But
the
then
club, baby.
Slowly but
I
surely, every single one of my members of the panel have always turned on me. What is happening here? Ah, that's cold.
But
you know what?
Look at that picture, though. I'm just saying, that's pretty
I'm not gonna
dope.
lie. That is pretty
You've
dope.
turned into a mustard hero, some may say.
Yo,
Vinci. I always go with
Yeah,
Vic.
you
I
Oh,
don't
there it is.
oh my God, why is that here? That should not be allowed. Okay, it should not be allowed. No
He
one.
wants mustard man.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
I feel like I could talk to the government, and I'm pretty sure there's a way to ban that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a
It's so
disservice
good,
to the
dude.
human, you know,
It's so good.
population. It's really not. It's like the worst thing in the history of freaking condiments.
Look, Ray hears somehow. He just gets a vibe. He's
Hold
like,
on.
yo, I
He
feel.
just arrived
I
right
feel
now.
like they're talking about mustard time.
Are you
Yo,
shitting me?
Ray in the building. Thank you for rocking with us, love.
Listen, since the last chat was about it. Let's I think we'll start just by admiring the craftsmanship and the skill that is present right there in Team Ninja Theory's ability. God damn. Hellblade 2. Come on, man. This like in a world where like that's so crazy. Like they took the girl, right? The girl who does the lady who does the motion capture and the facial scan, all that stuff. And they took her face and they said, what would she look like if she was not living in a place where she could have food very easily, where she was fighting for her life?
Distraught.
And they did it, dude. She looks that's crazy how real she looks, bro. Look at that scene.
And what a difference from okay, so when we first
Yes.
saw it, we were like, whoa, right?
Yep.
Back in 2019,
Yep.
you're like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing. But compared to now, crazy difference.
Yeah, dude, even like everything they've done, it's almost like they got to the point where they're like, you know what? Like, it's almost like they were ahead of schedule and they were like, you know what? You know what? Let's take it to the next level. And instead, because even you see like the marketing down here on the bottom right, you see that's the old face of like the well-nourished version of her. But clearly they went in and they said, okay, let's make it more realistic. And damn, did they succeed, bro? It's stunning. Like this
Yo,
is next
beautiful.
level.
I
Look
mean,
at this.
that looks like a film.
Yeah.
Like a horror film, like you would see when they would superimpose the the protagonist, and you would see that's the game. That is
That is
crazy.
the game, dude. That is the game. Now, I don't know how you can look at this and then tell me that you're okay with where we've gotten to up until this point with gaming. Like, what have we been like? What have these next gen boxes been for? Nothing. Nothing.
Well, we're finally getting a game that feels like
Finally.
next gen. And maybe these pictures are a reminder for Insomniac as to, what the goal is. Where they're
Absolutely.
supposed to
Yeah, they're just like they're
psych
just
them
remind.
out real quick. Put them in their place.
Oh my god.
The goal is to make profits.
Yeah, I mean, but again, we know very much so that Hellblade is being made by a relatively small team, and
I
that
think it's
it's
40,
not
40 or 43 people, dude. It's small.
exactly, and it's not costing them hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So, like, this is the scale that they should be able to function at, especially with Unreal Engine 5 that's out there right now. You got indies making stunning videos of their games that they're making. Indies, right? Let alone you're telling me these mainline big developers who supposedly are this higher caliber of developers, right? They're better at it. That's why they're so much bigger and they're able to do these things and have these big budgets. And it took a small team within Xbox to come out here and show us something like this. Let me ask you guys a question because there's a lot that we haven't seen yet. And the things that we have seen, people don't necessarily take as actual real games. For instance, Fable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fable looks, I would argue, just as good as this. Is just a different, art style. Um, But when you see Fable, that's also another stunner, right? When you see State of Decay 3 and you see that trailer and you
Oh yeah,
at the
dude.
time, you
Yeah.
think that, oh my God, that's just a CG trailer, even though they said it was like engine, right?
Over and over.
But now when you see this is a game we're getting in 2 months. Imagine these other games that we're getting next year and how much this has changed for the better in that amount of time. I mean, do you think Xbox is not only going to start it with Hellblade, but do you think Xbox is going to be the place to continuously see this level or higher of quality graphics, I would say. I mean, obviously the games are all going to be different, but I haven't seen anything out of PlayStation that even touches like the lowest form of this.
You know what's interesting is when you talk about Xbox, right? A lot of people discount 2023, and I don't know how you could. I'm being like honestly being fair. Maybe one of the four major games weren't your bag. Okay, that's fine. I hear you. But everything that Xbox is doing, including something like, mind you, Hellblade 2 is going to be $50. That's something else that people are
Wild.
not talking about. It's
Yes.
releasing at a budget price because the game's anywhere between 8 and 10 hours, which of course there was a lot of pushback on, but most people are okay with that because it's an 8 to 10 hour film that you're going to be playing. You're going to get in, you're going to learn some things, you're going to want to go through it again, and it's $50, right? That's fantastic. But when you look at overall, like you have that's a phenomenal question, CMoney. Everything Xbox is doing, especially what they're doing this year, is all a bit different, isn't it? Avowed, right? Different. Hellblade, different, right? Indiana Jones, cinematic film. Like they're all stellar, top-notch titles in their own rights. Towerborn. It's going to be like Castle Crashers. I'm telling you right now, folks, people are playing in the beta right now and have signed NDAs. I can't say anything. All I can say from what I have heard, because I'm not playing it, I'm waiting to get accepted into it, is people are going to be very impressed. I think it's going to be a big surprise. But when you look at it, see, each piece of the puzzle that's building for us for this year for Xbox, all is just a little bit different, but top-notch quality in their own right. That's something that Sony cannot do this year. They didn't do it last year, and they're going to have another blank year. Third parties, folks, don't count. Second party, if you invested like Helldivers, you want to consider it, that's fine. But we got to be fair about this. Xbox is doing it right, and they're just about to start swinging. I'm super stoked.
Agreed, 100%. Demo Flow, what do you think? I mean, you're looking at this. I got the trailer for Fable running right here. And again, even when we first saw it, like we believed that it was in game because they told us, but like it felt like it was going to be far away and you didn't know. But like Hellblade being in 2 months and you see the caliber of what's happening and how much better and better. Again, we're used to this time where they showed us something and then it looks worse by the time we get it, right? Whereas now, again, you see Hellblade from the beginning with the first announcement to where it is now, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at, something like Fable, which again, we know is coming next year, and it's just at that same level or higher, depending on how you look at scale and how impressive that is. I mean, how do you see this? How do you feel about, Xbox's, future being the leader of, high fidelity, gaming? And do you think, Sony's going to ever get there? I mean, what do you feel about this whole thing?
Well, man, in my opinion, no, as a matter of fact, Xbox is right now like one of the biggest publishers in gaming. So they not only have the amount and the quantity of the games, but they also like working on their quality. A lot of people love to talk about the quality of Xbox games not being out there, not being on PlayStation level of quality. But in my opinion, they always been delivering these experiences, not only cinematic experiences, but with multiplayer, that big element. Like people talk down on Halo 4, Halo 5, but this came with multiplayer integrated in the core game. So they been it's like this like a jack of all trades, right? When you're creating a character in an RPG game, this is my analogy, right? And then you got all these stats level like strength, intelligence, and agility, and at the beginning of the game, it doesn't feel like this is a strong character. But as you level up and you reach the higher levels and all these abilities and all these perks, they start to, make sense and work together as a whole. And that's when your character becomes truly OP because you don't have a build, you have the build. And this is what Xbox at the moment has, man. Multiplayer, uh, RTS. We have what else? Cinematic experience. We have game as a service. Free to play titles. They have it all, man. While Sony PlayStation is out here only delivering you the same experience they've been delivering for years, the same formula. We have not seen any change in the way they produce games. You mentioned the earlier this week that it seems like they forgot how to make these games. They learn how to make movies. They were that attracts the media people like IGN, Kotaku, Push Square, all these bullshit websites. They're gonna love it because it looks like a movie. But we know that we are here in a panel full of gamers, in a podcast full of gamers in the chat that they're looking at the gameplay. Like I'm interested in the gameplay, and we know that's what Xbox knows how to do better. Gameplay, that it's gonna be
Facts.
crazy. Look, a perfect example is the Spider-Man game that got canceled. It got canceled, but in my opinion, that should have come already integrated in Spider-Man 2. Come on, why didn't they do that? It just makes sense to deliver a multiplayer with the core game, and Spider-Man today would not be dead like it is. Like nobody's playing Spider-Man. Who's playing
Agreed.
Spider-Man now? He's dead. But a lot of people are playing Apex Legends. They're playing Fortnite. All these games, Halo Infinite. They're playing Halo Infinite. Supposedly dead 3-4 years ago, and people are playing online, and people are talking about it, and people are uploading clips. So to me, this is what keeps the games alive. All right,
Yeah,
and
I agree with that. Instead of a one and done, it could have been a way to go ahead and give you more and keep the conversation going when it comes to
yeah,
the games. It's just a diverse library that we get from Xbox. It's just inclusive, right? And that's something that, PlayStation cannot deliver. And even the ones that they know how to make, that they normally deliver,
mhm.
they can't deliver anymore. And so everything is it's a question.
Yeah, and all the comments that they've been making lately, have really put a kind of damper on the idea of what they have coming,
Mhm.
right? Like, I mean, talking about their small budgets, they got to rethink how they're making these games. They got to like, there's a lot that is kind of left up to the imagination, what's unknown to for what's to come.
A
Because
lot of
again, they haven't announced
questions.
anything. But before we move on to
The
have
media's not
part,
asking those questions, and they
of course.
should.
Before we have Hargeet throw his little bars on here, we have a request from the chat from Donnie B says, "See money, can we have Boom read a very generous $5 super chat?"
Yes, I absolutely can.
So why don't we go ahead and get this one in
All
here.
right. Here we go. Hey, thanks so much for being here, Victor. The MF Click. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Got a hot dog with mustard in one hand, a cold beer in the other. What's up, mi gente in chat? Hey, thanks so much, brother, for the generosity."
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? Since we got you going,
I'll
let's
do
do
another one
last
for you
Let's
now.
go.
One last
Ultraman,
one.
welcome to the program, brother. Thank you so much. He
Oh,
drops, ladies and gentlemen, a very generous $5 super chat. And he says, "Did you guys see Jim Ryan mumbling like Porky Pig today? BD, 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 BD. That's all, folks. Just like their games. LOL."
Oh snap!
Mm.
Ultraman, I did not see that. Did something come out today that I missed from
He was just interviewed. He was just
Well,
interviewed by
This the CNBC one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, the
yeah,
CNBC.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I saw that one. That one was that was good. He got so dumbfounded. He was like, we're getting a little granular here. Like he just was like, oh man, we are so happy that we got that deal with Microsoft and we did this. And the guy was like, if you were so happy, why were you being a bitch and not just signing it beforehand? Why did you, as a matter of fact, you joined forces with the FTC to try to take them down? And he was like,
Yeah.
let's just say that the contract that was first given is not necessarily the one that was signed. Yeah, we know, asshole. You had a good contract that was given to you, then you lost, so you took the very
Whatever you could get.
minimal worst case scenario contract you could get, which was to keep a game that Microsoft never had any intention of taking off your platform for 10 years. Woo. DBS.
Oh my gosh.
Dumb bitch syndrome.
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. What happened?
CMoney.
Oh snap! That's me.
CD John
CD
Mustard
John
on point for
Mustard.
condiments.
What?
That's not what the shirt said. You look at those. This is how you get.
He changed the
He
shirt.
changed the shirt.
What?
He changed
I
the
thought it
shirt.
was the same shirt.
That's not the shirt I was rocking. Look at
That
this.
is good photoshopping because that looks real.
It
God damn
does.
it.
Oh my
It's-
God, you
oh
got
my
me.
God.
You got me, bro.
He says, "What's CMoney? What's happening?" Shout out to our mustard leader and protector of all the green olives out there. God damn it.
Oh my god.
Oh, what has happened to this world? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's different. So that's not, I thought that was C Mustard on point for foodie. So that's just another person who's taking it to the
Is
next
it? I
level. I
thought we
wonder if this
changed
is
the
Far
name.
Q's.
Is this for Q? Is this
you
right?
know
You
what?
are. We don't even know who
Nobody
this
knows
is.
anymore.
Boom.
Nobody knows anymore.
Oh my gosh, you're right. This is C
Yeah,
Mustard
I
on
know.
point
That's
for
what I'm saying.
foodies.
I don't know what's happening.
You guys
Um,
are something else.
All right. So the Hargeet, obviously, you know, listen, graphics are not the end all be all for people, right? And I get that. And I'm not suggesting that that's the only, metric for a game. Obviously, I just started playing Dragon's Dogma Part 1 because I caught a good sale on it. And, graphically, it's probably just around where what's the name of that game? Rise of the Ronin. It's probably just around there as far as graphics are concerned. And I'm having a blast with Dragon's Dogma, which is gonna make me I'm gonna pre-order the Dragon Dogmas 2 because it's dope. But like aside from that, I mean, we do know we've been playing a long time, right? So we've had the lower quality graphics from back in the day, right? When they were just tiny little pixels walking around the screen, right? Until eventually things got more lifelike and more photorealistic and all that fun stuff. And we're still not there, right? Because we can still see in movies and things like that, that there's still a long way to go. And the reason I compare it to movies is if you look at something like Toy Story 1 that back in the day looked so amazing. Look at the CG, and we've surpassed that in real-time graphics crazily, right? Even like the Final Fantasy, what was it, Advent Children or whatever, that was such a like, oh my god, again, we've already kind of hit those milestones. So when I look at what they're doing in movies and TV now with CG and stuff like that, like we still got a ways to go, and I still appreciate really high fidelity looking games. So that being said, that they cost a lot of money to make. So obviously Xbox has the money to kind of do what they want to do if they so choose. So I guess the question is, do you think PlayStation will be able to go further than where, like, in a dramatic way to where they currently are? I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think about the whole situation?
I mean, there's always room for potentially doing so, right? A lot of the things you can do with UE5 can showcase some pretty realistic graphics, right? But I don't think Xbox will ever get the credit. I think because they cater to various like demographics of gamers, you'll always have Minecraft, and so they'll say, "Ha! All you make is cartoony shit." See, and like it doesn't matter. You can have a Hellblade, but they will ignore Hellblade because there have always been very high quality games, but they always say, "Ha! But you had Redfall." Right? That's always what happens, right? They don't say, "Oh, yeah," but we also had Knack. That just gets sidelined, right? No, that didn't happen. No, I'm sorry. But anytime Xbox is a game that doesn't look perfect, they're like, "Oh, see, this is what that's all Xbox puts out. I'm sorry, this is what you put out, right?" Did you play Forza Horizon? Does that look good? It's like the top quality of quality. They're ridiculously good, right? Nobody ever wants to talk about that. This is just the way it always is, right? You'll always get the same. Like, so Hellblade will look fantastic. Does Call of Duty look good? Xbox did put out a Call of Duty, didn't they? Does that look good? Yeah. Are they ever going to get credit for it? Nope. They'll never get credit for it. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be the same. It's always the way it's like I pointed this out so many times. Like, yes, but there are these quality ones here that look really good. Oh, we're going to ignore that. Okay, because we have this game over here. So Minecraft Legends defines everything that Xbox does. Minecraft Legends is intended for kids. At least they've tried to do something. When you try it, it sucked. So what do you want me to tell you? You guys decided to shut your studios down, right? At least Xbox keeps trying to do things, right? So and on the flip side, Nintendo doesn't care about the graphics, and then they sell 20 million copies of everything, right? But nobody cares about that one, so nobody even talks about them, right? But like if Xbox has really high graphics versus really low graphics, like the low graphics are the only ones that exist. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So this argument, it's just going to keep going, no matter what Xbox does. And yeah, they are going to set the quality bar with a game called Call of Duty because they have freaking like 10,000 people working on it. So, and I'm not exaggerating. They literally have like 10,000 people working on it. If you have that many people working on it, it's going to look good. And that's why they can release one every year and it looks freaking phenomenal. Well, they'll never get credit for it. They'll never get credit for it. That's just the way it is.
Do you think that maybe it'll slowly wear out as PlayStation continues to not deliver games, or it's just the narrative will just shift to something else?
Possible, right? This is the thing. Like if Phil were just a little bit more of like an asshole, he isn't, unfortunately.
Yes.
If he was a little bit more of an asshole and played the role that Peter Moore did and said, "Yeah, I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that. Let's get BioShock. Let's go Mass Effect. Let's go take it all." Like just say take it all. What the heck? If everything gets associated with you, yeah, it's going to be very hard because the enthusiasm level with the 360 gen was absolutely 360, right? If you talk to gamers, it was the 360. That was the system you wanted to have, right? So why did that happen? Well, they had a year where they literally had every game. Like everything that was of value came out on their system, save like 2 games. It was like Mario and I think maybe Uncharted. Like, and that was it. Like everything else was on freaking Xbox, right? And so you wanted to be on Xbox. And the games were not like BioShock is a fantastic start of a franchise. Mass Effect, it's one of the top franchises, period. Right? Exclusive to Xbox, right? And you just start with, and then you have things like, Oblivion was an exclusive to Xbox for 6 months, a year, whatever it was, right? Like the names that came up with exclusivity for Xbox was so ridiculous. On top of having Halo 3, Crackdown, Gears of War, and it just kept going. They just kept putting out stuff that's like, oh, I have to have this. I have to have this. They have their own first party games now. They have that. If they don't keep putting them on other systems, that's a draw. And then, you have to act like an asshole and say, I'm going to take Ken Levine's next game. I'm making that an Xbox exclusive for a year. Yes, you might have to take some flack. Too bad. Take the flack. Yeah. Right. But you have to do it. You have to take the same level that Peter Moore did, saying, I'm going to take that. 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 Too bad, PlayStation. You ain't getting them. Come to my platform. Now, and that changed the game. It literally changed the game, right? PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 lost. PlayStation 2 is still the top selling console of all time. And it lost. And how did that happen? Content. You take the content. You say everything that you want to play is here, not there. And you have to play that game. You just have to. Yeah. Bill had it once. He took freaking Tomb Raider, and the entire media industry said, how dare you do that? And then he said, well, I'm never doing that again. No, you should double down on it. Let them complain. And then what do? They'll recommend go get the Xbox. That's what they'll do, because that's where the games are. That's what you got to do. Yeah. I know he doesn't want to do it, but I wish he would.
So do you still like
do it?
They do have the cash. So, but if you see what's happening right now, or maybe this is the question for all you guys, like when you view what's happening right now, because I personally, what's happening right now in PlayStation, like they did money hat games, right? Mm-hmm. That was supposed to make a difference or mean something, but literally every single game that they have money hatted, I would say this generation at this point, from Forspoken to all these games that were supposed to be something big have all essentially flopped, right?
Yeah.
Like
Well, they might
nothing
not
has
have been
really hit.
financial successes, but you can't say FF16 wasn't a good draw or FF7 isn't a good draw. It does bring people over,
As a
right?
name, yes.
Right,
Yeah, I
exactly.
mean,
The
it's a
big
good
names,
draw.
right?
Like people made purchases based off of knowing that those games were coming. But that being
Exactly.
said, there's going to be a lot of people burned over what has been released because arguably a lot of these games are not really up to stuff, right? They're not really like things are not going wild for these games. They're not spreading. People are not, bragging
Yeah, they're not
about
making the
these
money.
games.
They're not getting the
Yeah,
sales.
they're not
That's
making
the
the
big
money,
problem,
right?
right? They're
So
not
like
making the money.
how does Sony move forward looking at how much they're spending on money had in games, looking
They're
at
not gonna be
their
able to do it. They're not gonna
exactly.
be able
So
to do it.
that see, so
And
but
it's
this is that's the point,
and
right? So what's gonna
it's not
happen
about them not spending the money. Even if they had the money, the publishers themselves are gonna say, "Look, we saw what you did to Square. Square had to go beg to freaking Phil Spencer to say, no, I need to put my games on your platform, right? And have this big freaking weird moment on the Final Fantasy, convention stage with Phil Spencer, and then all this weird handshaking stuff going on, and then look, all their
Holding
games are
hands,
going
I
there,
call it.
right?
They got them pregnant.
So, but look, other publishers are saying the same thing, right? Like, do you think Rise of the Ronin, if you even look at the numbers in the pre-orders, do you think Rise of the Ronin is going to do well? I don't think
No.
it is, because we already know what MLB The Show is going to do, and that's beating it, right? MLB The Show is about $1.5 million on PS console. That's what it's going to sell. So that's the max they're going to get. And for Rise of the Ronin to hit something like $500,000, that's basically where it's going to end up. That's not going to be enough. That's just not. And so, like, is that good for them? Is Wolong a better solution where it's everywhere and in Game Pass, where you just get a bag plus it's everywhere else? They're not restricting you from putting it anywhere you want, right? Is that a better model? Eventually,
Way
that
better.
model is going to work for those publishers. And I think the days of Sony walking over to a big publisher saying, I want to take a big IP and make it exclusive, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. It's just too hard for that publisher to not have the ability to take the money, right? And when games cost so much, it's just very hard to say, I don't want to get the bag from PC, from Xbox, from it. The Switch will probably be able to play them in the future, right? So why not? Why take that money away? I think that's going to be hard for them to do. Now, smaller games, new games, something like Stellar Blade, maybe they could get that. Is that a known quantity? That's not selling. That's not, the pre-orders for that aren't that high either. Does that thing look like it's going to sell like 5 million copies? I doubt it. Right. So, like, again, where is this leading? What is this going to do for those publishers? It's a two-way street, right? It's not just Sony gets something out of it. The publishers making the game, they need to get something out of it. And if they're not getting enough, and that's unfortunately what things are, and costs are escalating, it's going to be hard for them to get those like lockdown deals. Microsoft can do it because they still have money, and their lockdown includes Game Pass. So
yes,
they're always locked into that, and that just is so cool for them.
And I agree with you, and I agree on kind of letting them bleed out and continue to go at them until they die out, essentially, because we've been in a situation where there's been no mercy from Jim Ryan or PlayStation. So now that we're in a position of power, why in the hell should we stop? But where I want to, and this is for anyone who wants to jump in, but like I do want to ask. I agree with your point, Hargy. In our chat the other day, we were talking and they were saying how, maybe PlayStation needs to be kept alive because of the FTC and to not appear like a monopoly and all these other situations. Now, obviously, we know Sea of Thieves, number one, freaking number what? Number 4, 2, and or third. Like
in
all versions are selling.
in Europe, it was 1, 4, and 10 for all 3 versions. In the US, it was 1 and 5.
And that's such a big deal. So my question to you guys is, do they need to go ahead and keep PlayStation alive to continue on their path? Or attacking something that's already essentially on life support going to really finish them and create a situation for Xbox?
So I'll say this. Look, when PlayStation got humbled with the 360 gen, right? It didn't kill them. it basically just equalized, right? They basically sold
Yeah.
just about the same number of Xbox 360s as PS3s. It was slightly off by a few percent, right? I think that's good. You want to have like something where there's heavy competition and neither side is killing the other, but
Right.
they keep pushing each other. Because of that, PlayStation went off and said, "Hey, we're going to change our tactics," and they created these big sad dad walking simulator games. Right? That was a change that they made to say, "Hey, we got to compete. Let's go create something that's compelling, and people will want to come to our platform." Right? You want that to keep happening back and forth, right? If Microsoft didn't get humbled with the Xbox One, you'd never have Game Pass, right? You'd never have BC, the big backwards compatibility push they did, right? They had to do those things to say we have a platform worth you coming to, right? And then suddenly, finally saying, okay, no, we need content too. Let's go on a buying spree of studios and publishers, right? All that happened because they got humbled. If they were, if they just outright won, they become complacent. They don't need to do any of those things. That's not a place we want them to be. I would prefer all three of them are pushing each other all the time, right? Because that means I get more cool stuff, right?
Absolutely.
that's the world I want to be in. And so if Sony becomes complacent, which is where they are,
Yes.
and they've been humbled now. That's just the way it is. Their leadership is being pushed out. They have to switch their games back from going to this gas pitch to going to a normal, and then figuring out how to actually make monetization work. Right, the big push to get Bungie to make that possible for them failed miserably. They are now in a rebuild mode, right? So they're going to have to do that same thing again. Fair enough. It might switch to the point where maybe they do equalize. Maybe like with the number of games, the sheer number of games that Xbox is putting out, that you see an uptick in console purchases saying, well, it's only like $250 to get a Series S. I mean, why not just buy it? At some point it becomes an impulse, right? If they could get that down to like 100, 150, oh my God, people would just pick. Why wouldn't you just pick it up?
I think that's the goal,
It's
right?
an impulse buy.
We saw on the leaked document for Xbox that they were looking to get it for the holiday down to like 199 or 150 or something like that, which I think is going to be a
They
big
got it to
catalyst.
189, I think, is the lowest.
Just to pinch under 200 over the holiday.
Yeah,
so I think 150 might be the number.
Yeah, if they get it below 150, that's impulse. At that point, you just buy it. Like, because
they'll go crazy.
It's just too low a number to say, why wouldn't I just want to be part of the ecosystem? What's the worst that happens? That's $150, right?
You know
like it's 2 games.
You know what's interesting, even to that point, and this is where you're going to see a fervor. Now you say 150. I'd like to. Realistically, I'd love to see the Series S drop down to 199. I think what you see is during the holidays, you get a 199, you get a 399, and on the box, now that they have it, you throw Call of Duty Black Ops, Gulf War.
Yeah, the new
right?
Gulf War.
Which I think, isn't that what they were looking at with the leaks anyways? I think that was the refresh, right? It was the 200, 400.
200, 400.
And then you have massive holiday sales, which they do anyway, right?
Yes.
So you cut that down. If you get to like 120, 130 for a Series S,
like a quick 150 for Black Friday, and then you obviously produce the
with
boxes
COD.
that have bought with COD. It's
right.
And you know what's funny? I know we haven't gotten to the topic, and I got about another 15 or 20 minutes. I can hang a little past an hour.
Cool.
I'm starting to see the prices of this PS5 Pro.
Ooh.
And the talk is 700 is what people are settling in on.
If it is really that high, if it's 33 T-flops, yeah, it's gonna have to be about $700.
$700.
Wow. But for what?
Yeah, we have Rocket Scientist sent it to me. I guess Tom Henderson just confirmed the leak. So I do want to talk about that, but I do want to finish up this before we go crazy into there. But yeah, no, for sure that's gonna be wild. But so boom, when you think about the idea that they no longer have kind of like that leverage of having those third party deals that they once did, right? Like where do you think that leaves them? Where do you think that leaves Xbox in this whole scenario?
I think it leaves Sony in a pickle, and I'm going to tell you why. I think Hargeet really did paint a really nice picture here. Other publishers, especially smaller ones, are going to look what happened with Square. Okay, you got to understand, Square took the bag. We don't know how big the bag was to keep Final Fantasy VII, the trilogy exclusive to their box. But the numbers don't lie, folks. In Japan, which is their home turf, okay, they sold 267,000 copies in the first week, right? And some people are like, well, that's a lot of copies. Actually, it's not. For an exclusive platform, one platform, that's not a lot of copies. We found out this week, CMoney, that there was a 91% drop off. They sold 24,000 copies the next week. What do you think is going to be next the third week? What, 6, 8, and if you're lucky, right? So if you're a small publisher, you look at this. At some point a couple of years ago, when Microsoft was struggling and they didn't have anything, people lined up out the door to get their games onto PlayStation as exclusive because of the fan base. But now they're starting to see that even their own fans, the ones that are in the playing Twitter instead of playing games, are buying their games, even the exclusives. And so you'll turn around and we'll see. Rise of the Ronin is releasing soon. When you don't hear the two companies tell you the numbers, that means that they sold about 1.2 million, 1.3 million. That for an exclusive on that platform, and that's it. That's not cutting the mustard. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I do. I did see that. I did see that, and it cut me deep.
So
The sea mustard?
I think what we're seeing here, and this is not console war, folks. Just read the room.
Yeah.
Sony is in trouble. They're floundering. They have no answer. They have their Amy Hood level CFO running PlayStation. That's not good. That means a lot more cuts are coming. That means less spending. That means less third-party exclusives. Now you turn around and you look over, and Microsoft, well, they have a blank checkbook. And other smaller publishers and developers are looking and saying, wait a second, if we put our game into Xbox Game Pass, we're going to get maximum viewage because everyone who is an Xbox guy or gal is out here putting out there on the socials every time a game, it's literally writing itself. So every time a game drops into Game Pass, we're all talking about it. People are posting it on Twitter. People are doing videos. People are doing TikTok stuff. It's literally free advertising. So why would you put it on Sony, which, by the way, charges a lot of money if you want to try and get any leverage on their store? Like I think it's like 75 grand to get on the front page, which is ridiculous.
Damn.
But you get all of this free advertising just because Xbox does every time they have new games coming into Game Pass. There's splash pages all over the place. It's on the screen. It's on social media. I think you're starting to see a seismic shift in who is going to remain the market leader. I don't think it's going to be Sony for much longer.
I agree with you. Boom.
I agree.
100%. And so my question to you is, I do agree when it comes to these developers, right? Who would want to go ahead and get in bed with Sony, right? Who wants to go ahead and do business with PlayStation? Now we see what's happening with their own studios. They're letting people go. They're taking a break for a year. They have these lawsuits going on. I mean, their stock market, like, I understand before they were able to kind of step it up and say, okay, this is the route we're taking. When we see them kind of take a step forward and 10 steps back because they're not sure which direction to take or if the decisions that they made were the right decisions to make, how does the future look to you personally? Like when you think of PlayStation and you think of all these problems in the way that Xbox has stepped up?
I maybe they're smoking their own stuff. I don't know, honestly, because when you tell the gaming public that you do not have a first party sequel coming to no sooner than March of 2025, you have forfeit the entire year. Okay. Final Fantasy VII, which is on the screen, was supposed to be their banger for this year. And I'm not saying it's a bad game. Quite frankly, it's an amazing game. Now, I haven't started to play it. I bought it. I probably shouldn't have bought it, but I bought it, and it's going to sit there because I got to finish 7, right? If this is not going to hit for you, is Stellar Blade going to hit for you? Is Rise of the Ronin going to hit for you? Because we know what happened with Soap Stars or Foam Stars. That's nowhere to be found, right? Then no one's even talking about that game. That game is going to get delisted almost in the next couple of months for sure, right? Another Square deal, as a matter of fact. I think that what's interesting, and if you look at the article, and you're going to get to it, that Tom Henderson article, he has a couple of tweets afterwards where he said it, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he said it, because remember what happened when the Xbox One X released with no games? IGN and everybody dogpiled on Xbox for not having a launch game. He said it. He goes, I don't know about not having a launch game. They're not going to have a launch game for this console that could potentially be $700. And if they miss their mark on console sales, which cost $10 billion to the stock price, how are they going to expect people to buy a $700 console? I tell you right now, I think Sony is in more trouble than anybody in the gaming media wants to let off, because they're afraid they're going to lose that check.
I agree.
Yeah, well, so before we go forward, I want to get to demo, because I know we have a few questions, demo, that you got to catch up on. All right, to knock some information out. But before we do that, let me get to the homie Rangy 4, my brother. Thank you, brother, for being here.
Sliding
Appreciate you.
through.
Sliding through, indeed. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says, if you get trophies on Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, you have to thank Microsoft for that. Achievements 2005, trophies 2009.
Let's go.
Facts.
Not lying.
And you know what? We do know that a lot of those motherfuckers gonna be getting trophies and Sea of Things. They pre-ordered it like crazy. So that's the fact. And then you got the homie Jonas the Dad. My dude, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Says PS5 Pro pushing Pensaments of 480 frames per second. Ponies worth it. God damn, that's so true, man. It's funny. Jesus Christ. And of course, you got the homie Cypher Type 1, man. Thank you, brother, for that $10
What's up,
super chat.
love?
Says
Thank you.
a key reason why exclusive mattered, quote unquote, was because they tend to show and utilize the console's power. Facts. Given the PlayStation won't have first party this year, Xbox and Hellblade 2 will showcase the potential of this gen.
Let's go, baby.
Yo, honestly,
Let's
Cypher,
go.
those are bars right there. You're 100% right. And me, who constantly thinks about this stuff, I completely forgot that is the point, right? Like, that's what first party is supposed to do, right? First party are the ones that's supposed to be able to take the risk to spend all the money on the big games, because they're first party. They make all their money from everybody else, right? So they have that cushion. The problem is that those first party used to be games that sold well. You know, like, people used to show up for those first party games, but now there's too many games around. And as much as Sony, wants to think they're doing it, they're not pushing. It's more of the same. And just like Cypher says, if you're not pushing, if you're not showing me what it means to have a new gen console, why am I even here, bro?
Okay, so do we agree then that the PlayStation Pro at $700 is not worth it?
I mean, of course it's not. It just depends on what it's going to be.
Going to do
I
worse
don't
than the
trust them
PS4
anymore.
Pro.
Yeah, facts.
Why?
It's
PS4
not
Pro
gonna be
is like,
heavily
what,
perfect.
20% of the install base? I think this will be like 8%. I mean, if it's $700, it's just too much. I don't.
And again,
Hold
we're
up.
gonna,
I don't know if it's gonna show
Like,
enough.
why don't we get a Steam Deck instead, or a Rock Ally? And in that in those systems, you can play Xbox and PlayStation games both at the same time.
We both.
I
we're
mean,
both
wouldn't
pounding the
that
fact
make
that
more sense?
Nintendo is putting out a portable that will play most of these games, and Nintendo is going to have a cohesive console-looking interface. I'm just saying, we keep ignoring it, but
Yeah,
they're going to have all the stuff.
It's going
to be a portable that works with everything. Nintendo versus PlayStation. I know, like Xbox, we want Xbox to do well, but from a global market perspective, Nintendo is still a world recognized name that has a lot of cachet. And If Nintendo can say, I've got everything except for those PS exclusives that don't exist anymore, I'm just saying.
Well, the
they
only
really need to
thing
worry about
when it comes-
Nintendo more than Xbox.
the only thing we have the only thing about Nintendo Switch, Sharky, that we have to remember that even if it has the potential to run all the third-party games, it'll still be missing out on the first party, Xbox games or the first party PlayStation games. So the question
Fair
is,
enough. So
do
the
the
enthusiasm
people
will be between those two, right?
Between
It
the
won't
yeah,
two,
so the
yes.
question is, do they
PlayStation
show up
games. I'm sorry,
when
but
they buy a
Nintendo games.
Switch? Do they buy those other games that they've been missing, right? Because that's what the question is going to be to third party. We still got to
Yeah.
port it over there, regardless of how we cut it. It's going to cost us money to put it over there. And if we put it over there and they still don't buy it in the numbers that we want them to buy, because they're still showing up for Mario and Zelda and everything else, and just use the other stuff as small games to buy every once in a while, that's going to be where the issue is. But we got to get the homie Craig Ravage, right, who is Mr. Boomstick Excel. Thank you,
Yes.
brother.
What's
For that
up?
super chat. Here's some more hashtag mustard. God damn it,
Bastardo.
Boom.
Oh boy.
Yo.
Hijo gran
Oh.
puta. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, my bad. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. But
That was
Demo, let's
amazing.
get your appreciate you. Boom. That was kind of you, man. Thanks, man.
That's funny.
Demo, what do you when you're looking at, kind of like, I know there's been multiple questions leading up here, but they really all kind of boil down to Xbox now being in a position to give that a next gen feel to the next generation that we've been in for the last 4 fucking years, right? So, like, them being able to do that versus PlayStation sitting out, are they going to spend the money to scale up and meet it? Are they going to keep, they're trying to keep margins down, right? So I see that as what they've already showed us. Spider-Man 2018, they took that same game, put it to PlayStation 5, put a little coat of paint on it, and that's it. So I see that same thing with Venom. Whenever they do that, I think it's going to be the same game, just Venom coated. And then Wolverine, we already know that Wolverine is the same game as the 2018 Spider-Man, just with claws, but he's still climbing, still doing all the same crap. So, I mean, do you feel like they're going to push it there? And then Doodle had asked about whether or not they'll be able to get the content from anybody else, right? Are they going to, as PlayStation still going to get the same content that they've been getting, because it's already kind of proven to shit the bed? I mean, where are you on this whole thing?
Well, I feel like Sony PlayStation they have to improve in a lot of things, and one of them is providing value to their people, and that's gonna be the big thing moving forward. That you have to understand, like gaming is becoming more accessible with mobile gaming, kids playing on these tablets. So if Sony PlayStation doesn't do anything to provide value to his people, like for example, MLB The Show being a first party game, dropping day one on Game Pass, while their own customers at Sony PlayStation have to pay the $70. That to me is one big thing that I'm like, wow, why am I gonna pay the $70 here on PlayStation when I can just get it, on Game Pass basically for free? That's one of the things. The other thing is, like, I don't think they have anything ready. 18 months
Facts.
with no games right here, and they got nothing to show. We're still waiting for that secret showcase. Okay.
Any
they
day now.
making
Any day.
yeah, anytime
now.
now. No, who knows? But we're still waiting for the secret showcase. While Xbox already about to drop 3 shows in less than a year. The 3 shows, like we had the Xbox Direct, the partner showcase, and now we got the big June show. Not to mention that they're gonna be in Summerfest, in the Geoff Keighley show, Video Game Awards. Xbox is everywhere. So these ponies, they better start saving their money and switching over to Xbox, because I mean, a Sony PlayStation console at $700. I said it already. I would not get that. PlayStation releasing the games on PC they want already. Like I say, I'd rather have a Steam Deck if I want to play Sony PlayStation games.
Facts.
They're releasing it on PC. I already have a PC. I have
Right,
no need whatsoever to buy a PlayStation and spend $70 a game. And that's what I stand. Value. They're missing value. They're missing diversity. They're missing multiplayer. They're missing their underwear. Sony PlayStation making in the streets, begging behind the corner, the gas station. You know what it is? Hustling with the knees all bruised up. That's Sony PlayStation right now. Like if you missing $10 billion from your account right now, what would you do? You would do anything to get it back.
Ooh.
And you know that's something dangerous. You know what I'm saying? There's danger in there. They could do anything. We don't know. Now Hiroki Totoki is basically like a fresh of breath air, right, for Sony PlayStation, because it's actually with the modern thinking of, okay, what are we doing wrong? We so old-fashioned. It's time to change. It's time to start putting games everywhere. It's time to maybe go multiply. It's time for cloud gaming, mobile gaming, all these things. What do you guys think?
So it's interesting you point that out. Who do you think is in his ear right now? Who do you think's talking to Hiroki right now? It's going to be Phil and Satya. Because
Maybe.
they've been on the ascent, right? And they've been predicting where things are going. And lo and behold, that's where things are going, right? And the PlayStation's been playing catch up, like 5 years behind where Xbox has been, right? And
should have said mustard.
They're getting rid of their leadership team. I bet you there's talks. I bet you Hiroki's talking to Satya, talking to Phil, right? Maybe even talking to Doug Bowser over in Nintendo Land to see what's going on there. Probably other big industry titans when you're talking about like your EAs and Tencents and whatnot. I'm sure they're talking to them, but from a platform perspective, I mean, you can just see where things are going and like say, look, the services world, their competitor has half the number of consoles yet makes more profit. What are we doing wrong? So
Everything.
If he has to go find a model, it's like,
Everything.
why don't I talk to them? Right? And Nintendo's Nintendo, right? They make double the profit of their competitors, and they sell bazillions of consoles too, but they're just Nintendo, right? And that's a hard thing to replicate, right? But I'm sure they're looking over at Xbox like, how did you get all these service games? How did you make it all work? Like we paid $4 billion to get Bungie, and you paid like half that for Minecraft. Minecraft's printing money for you. Why aren't we printing money? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he's asking because he doesn't care about this stuff, right? He's just a money dude, right? He's second in command of Sony. He's like, why am I not making profits? What's going on, right? So he's gonna go find anybody who's gonna talk to them, and like they talk, Microsoft will talk to you, right? So I bet you they're in their ear. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some Sony games that show up on Xbox. I'm just saying.
I think the one that makes the most sense, honestly, and this is not being like facetious or anything, but I really do think that the what makes the most sense is Spider-Man 2018. I really do.
It's a big name. It's gonna sell. It's just one of those things. Bring the trilogy over, right? Spider-Man.
I wouldn't buy
Miles,
it. I wouldn't buy it.
And
I wouldn't buy it.
Spider-Man 2.
I mean, I platinum 2018. I rebought it, the HD version, the better version with Miles Morales. I bought that because I'm a Spider-Man apologist. It's not. I don't care, but I got no no hair on my tongue. But if Spider-Man 2018 released on Xbox with achievements, I'd run the gambit again. I'd buy that game.
Again, we have the beauty of Game Pass.
Would you pay the $70 to buy a 10-year-old game? Like I wouldn't, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
Maybe it is or maybe it isn't. But like I pre-ordered Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon for PC, $51. Pre-orders.
Yeah.
It's on sale. It's like pre-orders, right? So
it's just, listen, Sony might want to get the bag and throw it in Game Pass and say, let me get that money up front.
Yeah, that's where I
totally think they should do that. They should 100% do that. Like, why not? And does Hiroki care about this? Do you think he cares that putting it on a different service? No.
He
sees it. How big a check are you writing me? And I'm doing what to make that happen? It's going to cost me $2 million, and it's going to give me $60 million. Yeah. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
And when do I get the $60 million?
You guys notice that Hiroki Totoki is only seen when he's dropping the hammer on all of them, because they did this, cush little interview and they didn't bring him out because they knew what he was going to say. It was just a matter of them kind of trying to hide what's really going on. And I mean, that's the reality of where we are, right? Like they're not going to they're not gonna have him come out and tell everybody that most games coming to Xbox. Like they said it a little bit about like Herman Hulst. If you watch it, he has a little snippet in there when he says how the games that we're making, we have to kind of do things a little different, and then they just switch topics, like almost like he said more, but they edited, like they told CNBC, like, yeah, you need to cut that. We don't want that out there.
So you know why they're doing this, right? They just don't want to piss off the fans, right? Just like Xbox did, but Phil doesn't want to piss off the fans. More games are coming to freaking like PlayStation and Nintendo. We should just assume that that's going to happen, right? Especially given Sea of Thieves is that like pre-order #1. Yeah, they're going to put more games out there, right? You just got to figure that out.
Bleeding Edge. Hashtag bring back Bleeding Edge.
They should. But they bringing back multiverse, so why not? Go ahead.
Yeah.
They should. Wow, totally, 100%. I'm with it. Yeah.
So when do you think they rip the Band-Aid off on the other side? Because that's what's going to have to happen too, right? At some point, right? PlayStation fans are going to have to realize that this is going to happen, right? They're going to put some older games on other platforms. And like the obvious ones to me are Nintendo. You just put like old games on Nintendo, they just sell, especially the current Switch. You just can't say no to that many consoles. You just put it on there. And then you say, well, why not Xbox? Some of these games can run on Xbox. Why don't we put them there? What's the harm? Tell me where the loss is, right? Because Microsoft's doing the same calculus, saying if I put like Hi-Fi Rush on there, which I think is sucky. I wanted Hi-Fi Rush to be exclusive, right? But they say, what if we put it there? Does that kill Xbox? Probably not, but it's going to cause like a little bit of discontent. If we put something like Grounded on there, I don't think anybody's going to care. What does it mean, though? Are we going to get money for it, right? So they're doing this experiment, and they're kind of slightly ripping off the Band-Aid, slowly, right? At some point, that's going to have to happen on the other side. I just wonder what that looks like and when, right? When does Hiroki say, enough, we need to kind of put these games?
I think if Sea of Thieves and a few of the other titles, Hargeet, get sell a lot, he's going to see that Microsoft is getting money on titles they put on their service. They're getting 30, but Microsoft's getting 70. I think they look and they say, what can we put on there that that it's going to cause some
time to do, right?
Sure, but I think it won't be a God of War, but it could be a Spider-Man.
I think it's next year, and why I say that, I think a lot of their PC releases are this year.
Yeah,
they'll see what those sales are like, right, and say, okay, well, was that enough, right? And if it's enough, great. It probably won't be, and they're going to say, well, what can we do to expand beyond that? Well, right, those platforms are Nintendo and Xbox, so it's time to start taking advantage of those other platforms. So I think next year it might be the decision is, hey, let's try to port one game over, and maybe boom, it is Spider-Man 2018. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a smaller game.
Maybe it's Ratchet and Clank.
Right? Yeah, RNC comes to Switch.
Possible.
Right? Cool. Right? One of the older ones, like the PS4 ones, right? Okay. Right? Does it hurt them? I think Sackboy is an obvious one. Like, is that going to kill anything? No.
Yeah, I don't even think I don't even think people associate that game with PlayStation anymore.
They don't. And like, you just like contract it out, say move this thing over. Sumo did that one, right? It's a 10-cent company.
Digital. Yeah.
So why not just say, hey, let's pay you a little bit of money, make that port, put it on Nintendo and see what happens. Put it on Xbox, see what happens, right? If it sells a few copies, what the heck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get real quick. We're gonna put pause on this because we're gonna come right back to it. But I do gotta get my man, Mr. Boomstick XL. I gotta get him out of here. He's giving us a lot of time, but he has things to do, and I appreciate you coming, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for being
here.
No,
it's an honor.
And thank you for that monster chat.
Yes, appreciate you. But I definitely appreciate you here, man. You're awesome. Thank you for being here. Also, the homie Demo Flow.
Yes,
he's the man.
Gotta get him on the show. I actually we're
talking. Get him on the show, bro.
Demo Flow. DM me ASAP. We'll get you on the show immediately.
Chico Gach on Twitter. So so it's not it's not my usual thing is Demo Flow Gaming, but on Twitter on Chico Gach, just in case So
on the tweet that I put out there, for the show, it has you and Chico tagged in there, so you can just easily DM each other right from there.
Let's go.
Get them on the show.
Gracias. Super appreciate that.
Gracias.
Buen día, everyone. Enjoy. Thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate you, my brother.
All right.
God bless.
Thanks, my man.
See you, boom.
Easy. Peace. All right. So, yes, but you were 100% on to something with this, right? It's just a matter of I don't think it's a matter of if. I don't think a matter of it's nothing but a matter of when. It's just when are they going to do it and what games are they going to choose? And the
Yep.
reason being is because the dollars need to be cooped from somewhere, and it's not from PlayStation. Again, you look at a game that is considered a success, except the reality is that it's not a success on PlayStation, and that's Helldivers. Helldivers 2 is, for all intents and purposes, considered a success, but the reason it's a success is because of the PC fan base. When let's the easy way for you to know that, right? Because we could say, oh, well, we don't really know what we do. And the way we know is because show me when they came out to say that they had how many players on PlayStation. Because I remember Power World coming out saying, hey, we have 25 million gamers, 15 million on Steam, and 10 million on Xbox. Now, if the number was flattering, if the number looked good, you damn believe that
Absolutely.
Sony would have been out here like, yo, look at what Helldivers did on PlayStation. Yo, this is amazing. They would have, but they have not. And it's been a long time already, right? So again, it's just a matter of time. And every game that releases that essentially proves this out further and further is just another reason for them to move closer and closer towards bringing their games to PC day and date and to Xbox. Maybe not day and date, right? They might stagger Xbox for a while, right? Game comes out, comes to PC, comes to PlayStation. After it's done its thing, goes on Xbox. Sure, whatever. There will come. But like just kind of leading into this, right? We touched on it, right? And Boom touched on it. I know we talked about it a little bit, but right on the screen here, right? We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, remember, Sony has paid for all of these games to be kept away from Xbox, away from PC day and date, right? And kept on, as an exclusive for them, right? If we go back and look at the first, I mean, obviously, we even know that this extends beyond Final Fantasy, right? Because they had Forspoken as well, right? These are all Square properties that were exclusive to Sony. So we know that they just made this big deal for X amount of games to come from Square to Sony. We have Forspoken come, gone, right? Game came and went. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares about it. And the studio, I believe, got shut down. You have Foam Stars came and went, right? Came out. Nobody talked about it. Nobody thought about it. It's gone. Then you're left with Final Fantasies, right? There's 4 Final Fantasies, one that has not been released yet. Okay. So you have Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out, that within a few days they announced that it did, 3.5 or something like that, 3.5 mil, something like that in a few days. Or yeah, somewhere around there. And they blasted it though. It was out here. Woo, look at us. Yay. Right. But unfortunately, just like what's been happening across the board, that game came out with a big splash and then fizzled out almost immediately. And it's been years, and they just got over 7 million, right? Which is crazy when you think about the first few days, 3.5, and only double that in years. Like, that's pretty
And
bad.
that's after
Plus,
a PC release.
exactly. Plus, that's after going to PC. And when you see it, it also seems to include Integrate. Seems like they have Integrate as part of that. So altogether, it's only 7 million, over 7 million, right? So that was the first ones. Then you have the big hitter, right? The one that was supposed to just steal the show. Final Fantasy 16. New mainline entry to the game, not a remake, not a rehash. Oh, wait, Babylon's Fall. Was that Square too?
Think it was, yes.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
it was.
Mike in the chat says, don't forget Babylon Fall. Damn. So
pretty
it's
sure
even
that
worse
was.
for Square. I mean, if you're Square, you
Square
really
published,
want to
yeah.
sneak into Sony's bedroom at night and put a trigger and just done. Night, Sony. You don't exist anymore.
Yeah, Platinum Games developed, Square published.
Jesus Christ. So they can't catch a break. All right. So Babylon's Fall, gone. Dead and gone. Over. Forspoken, dead and gone. Foam Stars, dead and gone.
Oh,
Final Fantasy VII Remake came out to a big splash. It's like they went to the top of the diving board, right? And they cannonballed in, and they had a big splash, but the motherfuckers never came up. You know what I'm saying? They just stood down there, and it was done, right? So that game gone with the fucking wind,
Dead.
right? Final Fantasy 16 supposed to be the big deal, right? Mainline, the next game in the story. It's this big deal. Again, came out to a splash, and within a few days, oh, look at how many we sold. And that game, again, the same thing, no legs, okay? It doesn't last, gone. Matter of fact, the team that was making that game has disbanded and have moved on to other things. So there will not be a sequel, there will not be a spin-off, nothing. They're just the people who are working on the expansions, those are the only people who are left, and they're just literally rushing to get that done and being on their way because they don't want to keep paying for something that nobody's going to make money on anymore, right? But I mean, honestly, Final Fantasy 16 is gone. Where is it? No conversations, right? Nothing. It's over, right? And then you have the one that was supposed to be the savior. Oh man, remake was good, but Rebirth, oh my god, you saw that trailer? It's gonna
That's where it's
gonna
at.
be the best thing ever. It's gonna be so amazing. Oh my god. And let me tell you, forget about what it did on the second week, right? The first week, its release, right? We have received 0 numbers from PlayStation or Square. 0. Now, we just said that Final Fantasy VII Remake, as crappy as it did in the long run, they came out and let us know 3.5 mil. Final Fantasy 16, they came out and let us know 3 mil in a week. We've heard nothing. We've heard nothing, which means out the gate, it didn't even make a splash. It was more like when you step in a puddle. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Dip
step
your
in a
toes in.
puddle and the water moves, but no one notices or cares. That's exactly what Final Fantasy Rebirth has done. I do not see people or hear people talking about it outside of Xbox dudes, honestly, which is crazy. Like I see Xbox dudes sweating it, talking about, oh, it's so great. I'm having a great time playing it. And obviously, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, great. But it's not there. Now, mind you, if you're Square, you're looking at what you've done. I mean, we already know that they're out, right? We already know that they, again, the handshaking, the hand holding that we saw with Phil, you know,
The
all
finger
that stuff,
fucking.
the finger fucking that they were doing on stage.
Mm.
Okay. That's how they went down. That's it. So we already know the outcome of this, right? They're already out. They're leaving before the marriage is even over, right? Like it's wild. But again, think about this. They now have to make the last part of this fucking game.
Mm.
They still have one more game left to make for
To
Sony.
deliver. Oh my gosh.
How do you look at that game, okay, and come out of this saying, well, let's give it our all. Let's spend as much as we can to make this game as amazing as humanly possible. When listen, all the journalists who sucks, you know, Final Fantasy's ding dong
The
gave it
pickle.
great reviews, huge reviews, right? Wow, so amazing. Oh my god, it's so good. Nobody cares about what you have to say, media. You are worthless because look, nobody showed up at the ball. They left that bitch standing up there alone. The altar has been vacated. It's just them standing there looking stupid. Okay. You couldn't help them. Okay. You can't help Sony. It's over. It's done. There's no more saving them. It's over. So if you're the team making this game, sure, it got good reviews, but nobody bought that shit. Nobody cares about this game. And it's a decline. So Final Fantasy Remake, you saw people didn't care about it. Now, this one here, it's even worse. Nobody cares about it. What's going to happen for a third one? If they didn't buy the second one, who in God's name is going to buy the third one? And remember, Final Fantasy VII Remake only has 7 million because it was released on a console that had an install base of over 120 million consoles. Then it was released to a PC that has hundreds of millions of consoles. And then it was released on the PlayStation 5, which has 40 at the time, 40, 50 million consoles. So you have, I don't know, 400 million options of people
That's
who
it.
could have bought your game,
That's it.
and you barely got over 7 mil. So what's going to happen when you take the game that you only have on a 56 million console? You know what I'm saying? That's like 8 times as less
So
people who
what's
can buy your
happening?
game.
That's the
So it's like
question.
what, 900,000, 800,000 sales? I wouldn't be surprised if this game hasn't even cracked a fucking million sales.
So what's going on? What has changed?
It's
Like, how
number
many
of players, right? It's the install base. There's also just people may have changed their gaming habits. A lot of live games are around, and some people just want to play those. It is like this is an interesting time, right? Maybe it'll eventually will get there when the install base increases. When it goes to PC, maybe it'll do well there. It won't match. I don't think it'll match the original, unless they do that weird thing like Intergrade, right? Like they have this like whatever release of the same game,
like this
and
bump
you
on it?
count it as another sale, right? But yeah, it's probably only going to hit about 3 million, right? That's probably its cap anyway. It's well, it is what it is, unfortunately, right? Remakes don't always do as well as you expect. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? And how many of you like Final Fantasy? Like, did you guys all play it? Yeah, that's the thing, right? I'm ambivalent on it. Every time I've tried to play Final Fantasy, I get bored. So,
You tried Final
I've
Fantasy
given them as
16,
much of a
to be
chance
Oh
as
my
I
gosh.
can.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I
Nap
give it 10,
time.
15 hours, and I'm like, "Ugh, okay. I'm like, I'm just kind of done.
That's it.
Like,
That's the move. That's
move
the
on.
move right there.
Right? It's like, it's enough.
Yes.
Like, so, and it maybe that these are like this is supposed to be one of the best Final Fantasies, right? Maybe it is like a really good one, but I'd have to give it a chance, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $70 to give it a chance.
That's
I
what
don't
it
think
is,
I'll
right?
get
No
$70
one
for it.
cares.
what
No
it
one
is.
cares. And that's the problem. If no one
So
cares, what are we doing here? Like, you need to put you need to go, like, if you're Square, you need to walk into Sony's office like, bro, I'm not making this their fucking game unless you're giving us money, more money that recoups what we're gonna spend on this shit, or we're releasing it day and date on PC and or Xbox, and that's it. Because there's nothing.
now,
What is?
did they
How are you gonna
confirm the
start the
third
next
one?
game?
Did they confirm the third one actually is exclusive? 'Cause I know there was like a back and forth, and I think it was
That I
Gene
don't
had to
know. I'm
like
just
go back and
assuming.
say, no, we don't know about the third game being exclusive.
Well, I think what he meant. So I think the whole Gene Park thing got confused where people thought that that Sony had locked down the exclusive, meaning that it was going to be a
Yeah.
forever exclusive. And what it ultimately ended up being is like, no, these games are exclusive for now, but not the trilogy, right? So meaning individually, the games might be exclusive to it, but come after the third one releases, they release a trilogy just like the
Yeah.
original Final Fantasy, put them all in one, quote unquote box. That
And
is
that would
where
be available,
they can
right?
go
And
anywhere. Yeah.
yeah. But we're looking at a while before that happens. The next one
Oh
of
yeah,
these is probably
absolutely.
like 5 years out, right? Something like that.
But I mean,
Um,
realistically speaking, who even
so
like
like
no one cares.
2030, right? That's
You
probably
know what
when
I'm
we're
saying?
looking at getting this.
But if you're Microsoft, right, and you're
Yep.
watching this shit play out, you immediately are looking at Square like, bro, your prettiest person that you could bring to the dance, nobody wants to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to talk to her. Nobody wants to take her home. Nobody wants to have a good time with her. The numbers are so small.
Numbers don't lie, bro.
The numbers don't lie. Your emotions could be there, right? Oh, but Final Fantasy is so amazing. Nobody gives a fuck.
I feel like
Nobody gives a
Square
fuck.
is kind of like PlayStation is more of the name, right, than anything else at this point. We've seen the decline. I can't imagine how like Phil is looking at that situation going on, right? Um, I feel like RPGs have come a long way, and kudos back to Hargeet mentioned Nintendo. Nintendo, no one gets sick of Mario, right? Nobody gets sick of their characters and anything that they're linked to.
They
And
do the same
their
shit over and over
prices
again.
do not need to drop, and they can do the same things over and over again, and it will still sell. I think
Agreed.
that the Final Fantasy name and their characters that people may know or whatever it is, I think that's all dying out along with PlayStation. Ray
Yeah.
in the building. Damn,
Ray
C
Ray.
Monster said no one wants to smash Square. Listen,
Hey.
Hey, they
You
still
know,
have
it-
some pretty good stuff out there, but look, I
but it's
think
their
another
other
thing that's
stuff. It's actually their smaller stuff, right? That
yeah,
is good,
that's
like
doing,
Octopath
you know,
Traveler, those types of
Yeah.
things.
well, Dragon Quest is another big one, Kingdom Hearts. But so one of the other things is I think like Japan is probably one of the major focus areas for this game, and the majority console isn't PlayStation, it's Nintendo, and I think that might be hurting it a bit. If it was on PC, it might get some sales there, but I think they really do need to focus on going back to Nintendo and trying to
Mhm.
put these games on the new Nintendo. And
It's
they
gonna
may
be
just
it's
get a
gonna be
bump from that.
hard. It's
Yep.
gonna be hard for them to go back to people, and this is like the shit that's crazy. Like, I think when Phil, like we talked about Phil looking at this, right? Like if Phil's looking at this, I think the one thing he does see though is that Final Fantasy 15 smashes all of these games
They
combined
did,
at
yeah,
this
they
point.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at that, you say to yourself, okay. Before people used to talk shit about, oh, Final Fantasy doesn't sell on Xbox or any of this other shit. Well, I mean, the only game that had any semblance of success at this point was Final Fantasy 15, from the recent games, right? These last ones have
Yeah.
all shit the bed. So if you're Phil, you're like, all right, like we know that individually these games don't do shit if they're on exclusive platform. But if we buy Square and go ahead and do Final Fantasy 17 and put it everywhere, and we take the trilogy and put it I mean, the trilogy might be too late because I really have a thing where I feel like an old game is old. Like, don't try to
Yeah.
sell me a game that came out fucking 6 years ago because it was exclusive over there and come back to me with the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? So I if you release Final Fantasy
I mean,
17 everywhere, now you have a shot to
I agree
bring
with
it back.
that. They should just do that, right? So if they buy Square, they should just make it a third-party thing. It's going to be everywhere because it just makes
Yeah.
more sense. Those games would resonate better with different platforms. So it's better to just leave them everywhere. And the Kingdom Hearts series, it's tough to say let's lock that down. It's intended to
what?
be a Disney, for everybody
Yeah,
thing.
nobody's gonna
It's
buy
like
that
just
shit over in
let
a
it be
single place.
everywhere, right? It makes much more
Yep.
sense. So it makes more sense to do that. With this specific one, I don't know what the agreement is. I like, so if we know for a fact that the third one is in fact locked down, fine. I don't know for how long, but you already mentioned the way to get around it. You just create a different release, and you say
Yep.
that it's going to be, we have a Final Fantasy 7 Part 1 and 2 combined, a combo, whatever, right, for $50, and we're releasing that everywhere, right? And maybe it's enhanced a bit because it was a PS4 release, and then they have to integrate to kind of give it a bump. But maybe they do something to make it better, right? And say, okay, we're going to release the combo of those two, and they release that like in 2 years, right? With the 2026 next Xbox, and let's say they have Square by then, or well, let's assuming they buy them, right? That in the next launch window they have that as a game, right? That they're going to have Part 1 and 2 combined, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out to everybody, but it'll also be a launch title, launch window title for the next Xbox. That's a way to get around it, right? Because then it'll come up before the third installment, right? And so then it becomes relevant again. And then maybe there is a, just like Ghostwire, just like Deathloop, there's a 1-year exclusivity period for the third one when it comes out, and then it comes out to everything, right? And then they release it on Nintendo, on PC, on Xbox, everywhere afterwards, right? Is that terrible at that point? No, because we lived with it. With 1-year exclusivity, it wasn't the end of the world. It sucks. It's just a byproduct of deals that they had in place. But in the end, we can live with the 1-year exclusivity and get it everywhere, right? And from a Microsoft perspective, it's more, can we get money off of it, right? Is it going to be financially supportable? That 1-year exclusivity, did that help Deathloop? I don't think it did. Did it help Ghostwire? Again, I don't think it did, right? So, this is just calculus they're going to have to make. Yeah, right. It did.
I feel like PlayStation is so out of touch with what gamers really, really want. And they did believe that Final Fantasy was a system seller. and it truly is not. And all these ponies out there talking about this sells PlayStation. Nobody is buying a console just to play Final Fantasy. It fell off. We gotta get with the times. New kids coming out. We've been talking about this all week long here. Doodle and CMoney, and we know that the gamers habit they change. These people moved on. They went ahead, got a job. They got wives. They got to cut the grass. You know what I'm saying? They got to work on
It's
these
true.
streets. And look, they not about spending 100 hours playing one Final Fantasy game because, like you said, it gets boring. I bought the best one out of all of the recent Final Fantasies the other day for $10 on Steam. Is the one with the car. Can't really tell the number because there's so many of them, so I don't really care. The one with the car that you go around in the open world.
Final
I had
Fantasy
like
15.
20.
That's 15, I think.
Yeah, it's
I
15.
think that's
Yeah,
15.
nobody knows. There's so many, bro. It's like,
I
oh
think
my
that's
god, it's like
15.
yeah. So, anyways, I bought it and I played it for like 25 hours. After that, I started playing Tales of Arise. I started playing this other game that they put in Game Pass, Bolt Gun, and I got like drove away from the game, and that's it. Like I'm not even missing it. I don't care. I could live without it. So
Yeah.
there you go. It's not as big as people make it out to be.
Well, if you
Yeah.
think about it, if you hear the guy, before they kind of disbanded the group and moved on, was it Yoshi P or whatever? He's the guy who
Yeah, Yoshi.
did it. He was talking to them. He says it's not our problem. Like we're not making Final Fantasy 17, but he's like they should probably drop the number. Like they probably should get away from the legacy of this game
Yeah, I
My
agree.
and do
God.
almost like a
reset.
rebirth of it
Yes.
for obviously the name of the thing,
H-
rebirth of the franchise, right? Just start with Final Fantasy. Give us
How do
something
you get
unique,
into this
something new.
franchise? Like if you never played this game, how?
Mhm.
How and which way do I start and which number? Because
Well,
it's
that's the
like
problem.
too many. Like me
No,
personally,
no,
I've never been a Final Fantasy guy. I bought 16. I'm like, oh, I really want to play. I want to see the whole story. I'm into anime and stuff. I'm like, okay, let me try it. I start with 15, all these characters, all these things. I don't know what the hell's going on. I feel like people who want to get into this game, they got a lot of homework and a lot of work to do, and that's just
yeah,
not
they're all
accessible. It's
distinct.
too
I don't
much.
think they were all like combined in any way, right? So they're all
Well,
their
that's
own little
they
thing.
But
always
that's
do a
the
new
thing.
story.
That's the thing.
But it's
They always do a new
confusing.
story, but it's like intimidating to look at something and they're like on number 16, 17, 18. Like it's like holy crap. It's like kind of like getting into an anime, right? We
Yeah.
were talking
Yeah.
about what
One
was that one,
Piece.
Love?
There's
One
One
like
Piece,
Piece.
1,000
yes.
Yeah.
fucking
We were
Oh,
trying to get
episodes.
into it, and there are like a ridiculous amount of episodes, and it's like you
Yeah.
look at the first episode and you're like, well, no, I don't want to start with that, but where do I begin? And I feel like when you hear the number, you feel like
Yeah.
well, I kind of missed the boat, like
Yeah.
there my time to jump into this has come and
Yeah,
gone.
and Cypher
Hmm.
actually comes in and this is the thing. You have two groups of
Cypher.
people, right? You have the people who don't know what Final Fantasy is and seeing how many there are,
Mhm.
people are like, nope, it's not worth it. Too many, I don't care enough. And then you have the people who would have cared or the people who have nostalgia for it, right? But Cypher squashes it right here. So number one, thank you, brother, for being here.
Thank you so
Appreciate you.
much.
Thank you so much. I found out super chat says the Final Fantasy 7 remakes, quote unquote, won't sell because everyone wanted a remake, not a sequel retelling. That's why remake sales died off and Rebirth isn't selling. So again, like I'm not hiding anything when I say Final Fantasy 7 means nothing to me. I don't care. I understand that it had a feeling that maybe at the time was so unique, that the girl
Mhm.
died and it was heartbreaking, people cried, like okay, cool. But outside of that, it's really, I mean, it is what it is. Just it's just basically the Mario of RPGs, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
it's been
Mario,
around
at
forever.
least they reinvent, right? Like every time. Mario
Exactly.
Wonder is very different from previous Marios, and it's fun. It's just fun. Like they just keep
Yeah.
doing new things. Um,
I agree.
One of the things that's now interesting is if they actually go after a Japanese publisher, because I heard rumors maybe about Embracer. I don't know if that's actually happening or not, but if they do have to
Embracer's
have a
slowly losing all the people that you would want them to buy Embracer for.
maybe they still have Crystal and Eidos though, don't they? Like, but
Yeah,
either
you
way,
could just buy
w-
them. Go ahead.
maybe.
We could talk about
Right,
that
but
later too.
if
We
they
could talk
buy
about
one, I think the one to get, I mean, Square is in trouble. There's no doubt, right? But the one that
that's how you get them. They're cheap.
has to be high on the list is Sega. It's also
Yes.
relatively cheap. but it has a lot of back catalog IP, and they're trying to revitalize those IP, right? And
Yes.
that's going to be new games for people who've never heard of those games, right? Those are very old now, right? And so if they're like rebooting them, I don't know how much nostalgia there's going to be, but there's so much potential to bring them back in a very new and modern way, right? That like the gameplay can be different, the viewpoint can be different, right? Like some of these were side scrollers, can be totally different now, third person, right? Action adventure, right? There's so much potential with the IPs they have. That is actually a good one to get now, because the hype is going to get big in a few years when those games are ready to launch, right? So that one seems like a pretty good one. It's probably half the cost of Square. So and it's got some other
Is it really?
studios that are, yeah, it's not
Sega's
that
half the
expensive.
cost of Square?
Yeah, right. Because remember, Sega is
Well,
also
I have
Sega
to
and
have that.
Sammy, and they don't want
Yeah.
Sammy. Like they have no interest in Sammy. Sammy's is
Oh.
like a whole different type of business they have no interest in. They would just want Sega, but they also have things like the RTS developer, right? So, and they've used them here and there, right? So
Yeah,
it would
for
be kind of
Halo
cool to have
Wars and
an
shit.
in-house RTS developer. But yeah, they have plenty of potential there, and I think that one's a very good. And I think they were going after him, right? So, and then Sega said, "Well,
Yeah,
we're
everybody
not
knows they
interested."
were.
Yeah, and that's why you split your business and made sure that Sammy is separate from Sega, right? I'm sure
Yep.
that happened because you were just being nice. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're willing
Just
to
having
talk.
fun. Just having fun.
So I think that's a very good target, right? Square, they are in financial turmoil. That is a headache for them. But they also just aren't really putting out stuff that people want to buy. That's kind of a headache for them. So that might be the case with Sega, but I just see like the potential with those new, like when they announced, what was it, 5 or 6 games or whatever that they announced, right? In one shot, it was in the Summer Game Fest, whenever it was, right? It was insane. Everybody was like, "This is awesome!" Right? Maybe it was the Game Awards, right? Here's like a whole bunch of new Sega games from old IPs, right? You're like, oh, holy crap,
Yeah.
right? So I think
It
that
was the
has a
Game Awards,
potential
I'm
to
pretty
be
sure.
much more exciting because you can just revamp it. Like this is just a continuation that's just been happening the whole time. Those are dormant, and then we get to bring them back. Plus, the Yakuza series has been revitalized. It's gotten a lot more engagement, mostly because of Xbox and Game
Yes.
Pass, right? So
100%.
they've obviously seen something there. They're announcing their games on freaking Microsoft stage. So Atlas is doing this now, right? So you got to say there's something there with Sega and them. So I think there might be something there. Persona games launching in Game Pass, like that's insane, right? So
Mhm.
and that's happening now, right? They're doing that now. So we'll see how much more they do. That might be a better fit at this point, just because the IPs actually are doing something. Square is, yeah, it's an interesting headache now, right? I mean, financially, it makes more sense as far as they would want to be bought. But there's also the financials of it. Does it make sense for Xbox? Does it make sense for
Well,
Microsoft?
I mean, the only thing that I would say that might make sense to them is that I think if they bought Square, no one would be pumped to look at it as an exclusive purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like a purchase for exclusive. So it
Yeah.
kind of fits Microsoft being able to be like, hey, we bought this publisher and these games are gonna stay, third party. We're gonna put them everywhere. They're gonna stay multi-platform. Because that's the only way they have a chance to fucking
Because
sell.
Final Fantasy is a huge IP, right?
Exactly. But you
I'd
get it in
actually
Game
question.
Pass, and now you amplify Final Fantasy to the new audience as Game Pass, takes it in.
But I'd question that with Sega. I don't know that you need to make it multi-plat.
Sega, I don't think you need to make it multi-plat.
I think you can make
No,
them
even
make a
all the
lot of them
old IP.
exclusive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Most
I think
of
you
them.
can make a lot of them exclusive.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Now,
I agree. That's what's gonna make it special
yes.
for
So like
Xbox.
Sonic would actually become something interesting when you say it's the platformer on
I said
Xbox,
this
right? I
before,
mean,
man.
there's so many
Sonic-
potentials for that, right?
Sonic
Because you now have
lost its
Crash.
groove when it
You have
stopped being
PlayStation's premier
exclusive.
platformer.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Plus, you get Sega, and you can make your special edition Xbox called the Dreamcast. You know what I'm saying? The Xbox Dreamcast.
But I mean,
Good.
a lot of those other games, they're so dormant. I don't think you can really make any case to say like Altered Beast is something that needs to come to any other platform. It doesn't.
Nope.
Did they ever release an Altered? They might have put like a retro version of it on other platforms, but
I'm sure all
that was just on
platforms have
Sega.
received a retro. Yep.
Yeah, so like that's not a historically accessible game on other systems. You could totally make that an exclusive. Crazy Taxi, all sorts of other ones. The Yakuzas have been on PlayStation for a while, so maybe you play the game of like, is it Elder Scrollsy? Like, do we say maybe the future games aren't coming to your platform and the old games are there because they're there? We'll keep supporting them, right? I don't know. You can kind of play that through. Persona might be another one, right? Does it have to be? I mean, it would be a fantastic thing to have a JRPG series as good as like as big as Persona to say that is exclusive to Xbox, right? Does it kill the other platforms? No, I think it does.
I think
So
once they look, if they're looking to buy it, they'll see the numbers and they'll be able to see how many people are actually buying and supporting these games on PlayStation. And I could tell you the fact that Sega wanted out, right? Like, let's be clear, Sega was in bed with Sony. They gave them Yakuzas, they gave them Persona. That was a PlayStation exclusive without even trying. Sega just Atlas just put the games there, and Yakuza just put the games there, and that was it. So if they want it out, I could see the fact that they probably were looking at this like this is not enough. So if Xbox is looking at that and seeing their numbers of what they do in Game Pass when the games are in Game Pass and how many people stay subbed because of it or how many people get subbed because of it, like I could see them being like, all right, we don't need PlayStation players. It's going to serve us better as an exclusive because even more those few people who were big, they'll come over.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they do like go after Sega at some point. This whole FTC case is still lingering, unfortunately, so they have to kind of wait for that crap to go away. The Embracer thing might be more of a rescue package, right? Working with the EU or something like that, because they're out there. I think I'm pretty sure they're out there. So if that's a thing, then maybe they have to go through that headache. But that's also become pretty cheap now. It's not exactly very expensive to get Embracer. It's a few billion if memory serves. So not a lot there, and they just shed off some more, right? So it's probably even cheaper now. So if they do happen to do that, cool. But then, I would go after Sega. I think that makes a lot of sense. Look, they were very close to that, right? We got the leaked documentation from the FTC case.
It was going to happen.
They were going to the board to say, we're going to go buy Sega. We want approval to go talk to Sega, right? Yep. There's a lot of potential there. And I think there's also a lot of potential for exclusivity. I don't think they necessarily need to have that all be everything. If it's Square, I think it has to be third party. Like you can't take Kingdom Hearts away. Dragon Quest is too big on other platforms.
Yeah,
I think they're not big enough to do it. Meaning Final Fantasy, it's weird. It's too big as far as too known everywhere, but it's not big enough to make an impact if you keep it exclusive. Because obviously we see
sales.
It that way.
The sales
you
just
need to have it everywhere.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not worth doing it that way. You need to have it everywhere because people don't know what Final Fantasy is anymore. The youth growing up, they could give 3 shits about Final Fantasy. Demo,
I get the same feeling with you brought up Kingdom Hearts. Yes, it's the same.
They come out so far and few between that generations go by of kids who have no idea what the fuck Kingdom Hearts is.
Yeah.
So I do. It's true. Demo Flow, I want to get your thoughts on that, but real quick, I got the homie Spartan661, man. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Says Matt Booty was right about Sony spending themselves out of business for their choices of third-party game exclusive money hatting. When you spend money you don't have and then don't get a return on it, that's not a good investment. So I feel you, Spartan. You ain't lying, bro.
And Call of Duty's coming. Call of Duty's coming.
It's gonna be a massacre. Donnie B says, bro, why Doodle look like she about to hit the red carpet and CMoney look like he just woke up? Yo, listen, that, my friend, is just a skill that I have. Okay.
Oh my god.
Think about, let that linger in for your head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I look like a hobo who just woke up.
You don't look like a hobo, baby.
My lady looks stunning, but I can tell you right now, doesn't matter what she's wearing.
You look good. You look good, baby.
She could always rock down that red carpet.
I like nice things.
Oh,
Demo Flow, go ahead, hit that up.
Yo, first of all, Demo Flow game. Read that. Let everybody know.
I said there's 207 people watching. Hit that like button. Stop being stingy. Come on.
Yes.
Thank you. And why? Because just like Big Boy Mike told us long ago, that if you're sitting here watching and you're just staring at that like button and you haven't hit it, or if you're not subscribed and you're just staring at the subscribe button, if you don't hit the button, you most likely have pony tendencies. Do you really want to be a pony? Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself when you're looking at, do I want to be a pony today and not hit the button?
Especially this time. All right.
That's right. That's right.
And
This is
also, by the way, shout out to everyone because we have about almost 100 people listening from Twitter. So we have
yes.
about 300 people. Thank you so much, you guys. Feel free to chat,
Yes, Twitter. I think
jump in.
we can see your chats. So don't be afraid to write in here. And yeah, come on
Thank
in,
you.
man.
Thank you
It's
for
fun.
rocking out
Absolutely.
through Twitter
Absolutely.
as
No,
well. And Big Boy
that's
Mike must
dope.
have sense that you were, he was being brought up with the pony situation, right? The pony tendencies. Wait, it keeps
Wow.
moving. It keeps moving. Stop, everybody.
He said, damn, I just made it. Literally right when I brought
We
him up.
just
Just a
talked
feeling.
about Big Boy Mike.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Absolutely. And demo, we're gonna get to you, but we do have the homie Mark,
Mark,
my man.
thank you
Thank
so
you, my brother.
much.
That is too kind, bro. Thank you for
Oh,
that
that's
$50 super
awesome.
chat, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. He says devs promised improvements would be made to performance mode. Oh, yeah. Game launched, and the devs promised yet again that another performance mode patch was coming to fix the graphical issues. No mention since. Sales would be better if games weren't botched. Mark, you're 100% bars, but this is what he didn't say. He's like, we can't get shit else out of this piece of shit box. Right? The PlayStation got no power. All right. The damn CPU speed versus the graphic speed. I can't balance it, man. That's why we gotta make it look like what's that blurry stuff? Vaseline. You know what I'm saying?
Vaseline.
They
Gold
just
eyes.
so they say that's their new filter. They do a Vaseline filter. They want you to love it. That's the only way.
Mark, thank you
But
so
Mark,
much for
thank you,
that
my brother.
$50
Appreciate you, homie. Thank you so
super
very
chat.
much. But
Thank you.
100% those are bars for sure. Yeah, Devil Flow, man. What do you think? Do you think Square's worth it? Do you think Sega's coming soon? What do you kind of say with all this, man?
I would definitely pick Sega over Square Enix anytime. Anytime. And I grew up playing Sega Genesis, so I'm biased. Don't listen to me. But in my opinion, Sega offers like a lot more IPs, a lot more history, a lot more. I don't know. It just feels like it feels more okay. Also, we all know what Sony PlayStation did to Sega, so it's a payback time. And I don't think
Oh,
I think Sega don't want to rock with Sony PlayStation like that. They're doing business, but there's also feelings. There's also like the backstory. So you can tell they're not comfortable over there. They like Xbox more, and that's why they have like Persona series now on Game Pass. They have Yakuza. They have DLC for Persona, first DLC, exclusive DLC to Game Pass that we get for free, while these ponies got to pay. So you can tell how they feeling, about Sony PlayStation. And also Square Enix, they dropping the ball way too much, man. Way too much. This recent super chat was about game performance. I think he meant to say Final Fantasy. I know it's a lot of other games, but basically he say Final Fantasy. Performance mode is non-existent. Look, these boys are playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth at 30 FPS. Don't let them
yeah.
lie to you. But they all like we talked about it here. They talked about Starfield 30 FPS, about all the games at 30 FPS, but it's fine when it's on PlayStation. And the performance
Yep.
mode is super bad, it's non-existent, and they gotta play it at 30 FPS. And it is what it is. That's what a pony do. They get on their knees, they pray that everything is gonna be okay. Basically, Square Enix is for the streets, in my opinion.
Square Enix is for the streets. These are for sure the truth bars that you're spitting right now. I will say over here, Cypher says, in the eternal words of Dirk Griggity, you never know when you're gonna need some Vaseline.
Never know.
You never
You
know.
never know.
Like
Keep those containers safe.
Cerberus a lot says, baby steps is probably canceled now.
I agree with you. We don't know what's going to actually happen. That's the problem. You can't trust anything. They're out here canceling games left and right. What was to release? Who knows? Nothing's guaranteed.
Agreed. 150%.
Baby steps
Uh,
might even do better than Final Fantasy.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh,
imagine that.
shit.
Because that'll be a game that I'll actually play because it looks funny. I love funny games like Ghost Simulator, those goofy games that you just get on with your friends and just stupid shit. I love that. And that's gameplay. That's the replayability of the game, the value of the game increasing because it's fun, because it's funny. And, in my opinion, that's more of a game than any of these big AAA titles with pretty graphics.
well, listen, it's a lot more creative than the same bullshit that they keep on giving us. So, man.
There you go.
God damn. God damn.
Bob says that Hargeet likes baby steps.
Are you ready for baby steps? Are you ready for that?
I mean, if it comes to Xbox or PC, something I might
Yeah,
even give it a
it will.
chance.
It will.
But whatever.
By the way, real quick, shout
Yep.
out to Ryu Art. All right, he got his Sea Monster shirt delivered yesterday. He sent us the picture.
Oh my
Nice.
Nice.
fire!
All right, that's what's up.
Fire.
Right,
Says
homie.
designed by Ryu Art, you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope. That's
So
dope.
dope.
Absolutely.
So Tom Henderson is confirming the PS5 Pro
Yes,
leaked
I'm looking
specs
for. I have
coming
it
holiday
right
24.
here, which
My
still,
God, they
as
don't
much
know
as he's
nothing.
confirming those specs, bro, I gotta tell you, I still don't believe that shit.
Es una paja mental lo que tienen, bro. Like, trust me,
No.
that is non-existent, bro. Like, all these specs. Come on, this is a PlayStation we're talking about. They chipped out with the RDNA back in the PlayStation, which is why they had to come with this because they don't support FSR3. And Digital Foundry will tell you otherwise, but we all know Digital Foundries, the condoms of Sony PlayStation. So
Wow.
yeah,
Dude, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. It's true though.
it's true.
So the first person who was talking about this was Moore's Law is Dead. He made a video of it. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, nope, I'm not clicking on that shit. That's just fuck out of here with that nonsense. But now Tom Henderson's getting into the ring and he's doing this. But to be clear, the last time we saw somebody jump into a rumor, Xbox era said Starfield was coming to PlayStation, and then Nate the Hate was like, I co-signed that, and then he walked that shit back.
Yeah.
So who knows what's gonna come here? But Insider Gaming went ahead and is confirming, saying that they have, despite the criticism of the leaker and leak specs, Insider Gaming can confirm that the documentation leaked is from a PlayStation developer portal, which was sent out this week to a wider band of third-party developers. So he says in early 2023, I reported via Key to Gaming that the PlayStation 5 Pro is under the codename Trinity and will be targeting improved and consistent frames per second at 4K resolution, a new performance mode for 8K resolution. Okay, nobody has one of those, and accelerated ray tracing. In addition, it was reported that Trinity will have 30 WGP and 18,000 MTS memory. So he's trying to tell us that what I just read right now, he's saying that is confirmed because he reported that before, but now the new documents are saying the rendering is going to be 45% faster than PlayStation 5, which sounds stupid if it's, I mean, I don't know, I guess like maybe the numbers don't work that way, but if it's 10 teraflops and the new one's supposedly 33.5 teraflops, but you're only getting 45% improvement.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
45% improvement is pretty good, but that's rendering
That's
speed.
a
That's
lot.
not,
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah.
well, 45% faster that's just what you see. That's rendering what's out there. It does say 2 to 3 times ray tracing, but if your ray tracing is shit, 2 to 3 times shit is just
More
3
shit.
times the shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, overall,
that
this should be pretty good if it's done correctly, right? So, and the 33 is
Yeah.
probably going to be double execution, so it's really 16 or so, and then they have double execution for the working groups,
also like they
which is
try to
cool.
say, like they try to do when they announced the PlayStation 5. When Mark Cerny was up there saying, yeah, it's 10 teraflops, but if you do the half, whatever the fuck, it's actually 20 or some shit like that.
What? So support for 8K? And
Yeah,
how?
yeah.
But they had that in the PlayStation. fire.
It's already on the
So
box.
they saying that this was a lie, and now it's actually truth, or is this another lie, bro?
Listen,
They
Gun Griffin,
hitting that
he's with you.
whole theory.
I'm reading the chat. He says it's not really. They've been pushing PlayStation 5 Pro for years now. He says confirmed from who? He wants answers.
I
All
know.
right, an
we do.
unnamed source. Listen,
Dude, we can't even get 4K at a decent frame rate.
Come on,
Mhm.
bro. Get out of
Who
here.
the
Get
fuck
out of
is
here.
making 8K? Listen, the only way I would believe this is if it was revealed that Nvidia was making the console. Like if they were the ones
No, it's
making
AMD,
everything.
and it's a new NVIDIA. AMD RDNA was it 3 or 4? I think that adds this double execution, something like that.
Well,
So
that's
that's
why
what
if you
they're
look down
banking on.
here, look at how crazy this shit is. It says AI accelerator supporting 300 tops of 8-bit computation, 67 teraflops of 16-bit floating point.
Yeah,
What the
but the accelerator is supposed to be to do the scaling, right? It's supposed to handle their super resolution.
Well, they have
thing
a
that they-
PlayStation Spectral
Yeah.
Super Resolution upscaling.
I will
Yeah,
tell
which
you
is-
right now, I don't give a shit if the new PlayStation Pro is gonna cook for me, do my dishes, do my freaking laundry,
It still has to have games.
vacuum. I don't give a flying shit. I'm not spending $700 for it, and I don't believe they're bullshit. What the fuck do we need this crap for when they're not making any games? Stop
Yeah,
trying to
there's the
sell
headache.
us shit to recoup somewhere,
It
right?
really
And
is.
start making the fucking games.
This is the
There you
Xbox One
go.
X, right? This is the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
It's nice that you have power, but that did nothing for Xbox. Ultimately, power does not sell. It's literally what you said, Doodle. It's games, right? The freaking Switch sells because it has games that people want to play.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. And those games don't look great. Who cares? They're fun games, and that's what matters. Xbox is gonna
Facts.
like smash them in games. There's just no way out of it. They just have too many studios
Yeah,
now.
they're gonna be
They're
destroyed.
going to smash
They're
them in
gonna
Yeah,
be
games.
I'm just
destroyed,
sick
bro.
about like the fucking Pro. Like we don't want to hear anything about another box. We have plenty of freaking boxes. Give me the goddamn disc to stuff it with and to
Yeah.
play it and to freaking have fun. Give me a reason to go ahead and use what I
Yeah.
already spend money on. Don't give me some other fucking box to spend money on. Cut the shit. I'm sick of hearing about this Pro. It's crazy, dude.
You got
Throw
that?
more money at me for another box that's gonna sit there and look freaking pretty. For
So-
what? Not
so
even freaking
supposedly-
pretty. It's a big ass mother fricker that if you guys pay attention, it looks like something else.
Yeah, it's trash.
Talk about the
Okay.
Xbox looking like a fridge. Take a look at that PlayStation 5.
So how
Yeah,
big is this thing gonna be? Because
I know.
I don't know.
Well, you can see it.
Bro,
Like, there's a render.
come
Is
on.
that like an actual rendering? If you go up a bit, that's
Nah,
a bigger
this is
picture of
somebody-
it.
somebody's just
I
making
Is
can
that
make
just
that
somebody
with
came up with
AI,
it?
bro. Like, don't worry about it.
no,
Like,
that's probably AI,
get
right?
out of here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
whatever.
that's
He's
AI.
just using it for every article.
So
He's using it for every
look,
article.
it's viable that they're gonna do this. I still think it's a waste. I don't think there's any point to doing it. If you're
No.
not gonna give me path tracing, I don't think getting a slightly better version of ray trace on that level is gonna help. This is essentially like a 3080 Ti, which is cool, but it's coming around the same time. Like in a few months later, you're gonna have a 5080 and a 5090, and that's gonna just absolutely
Yeah.
demolish this. The 4090 is 3 times the power, right? And like I don't know how good their super resolution thing is going to be. They're saying it's better than FSR. They're not saying it's better than DLSS. And DLSS
Which is the whole-
pretty amazing.
Which is the whole point of what I was saying. Like if Nvidia was saying that they were making this box, then I'd be like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
this is gonna be crazy.
You know
for
which box they
sure.
are making though? They are making the Switch too.
That's the one.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I
Making
feel
the
like the
Switch too.
Switch is gonna be crazy, and the people
Yeah.
who know are gonna fucking have a great time
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal.
Oh
But as
my
far as
God.
this is concerned, though, like, listen, like I'm not gonna front. Like you show me Last of Us 3 coming, and you show me it looking fucking stupidly beautiful on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and that's the only place that I can get it.
How you gonna get Last of Us 3, CMoney? How you gonna get that?
Well, they're gonna
How?
get it out of the dumpster of all their
How?
canceled games and then try to make it. I'm saying in this hypothetical world,
Oh, okay. Well,
that's the
listen.
So he's
only
streaming.
way.
That's
Well, let's
delusional
talk about
land
that one.
with the ponies. Did you
Power
get
your
slapped up with
dreams.
some pony powder? Is that what happened to you
I
today?
didn't say. I
Dreaming
Yeah.
said,
about freaking The Last of Us 3?
Hmm.
They didn't
God damn it.
release factions.
I know.
What
I'm
do you
telling
So
think
you.
that
when
Naughty
do you
Dog is working on?
God damn it.
when
They
do you
working
think they
on
will
shit.
release that game?
Their spirits
What-
are broken. They
Right?
still haven't.
Something at some time in the future, even if it's years from now. I'm
They
just
need
saying.
a year break.
but-
That's why they're taking a break. All right, Naughty Dog needs to heal their feelings up, get some band-aids on that bitch,
I know, right?
and regroup. What creative fluids do you think are running through them right now?
I mean, I got
People
some
are getting
creative fluids running
fired.
right now.
The game was not
Oh.
released.
Turning me on,
They're
girl.
crying about it. They're still playing it, saying this was a good game, should have been out. Like, what do you think is going on over there at Naughty Dog?
Well,
You're
and
right.
to add to that, didn't they say that they're working on a different game? I thought they were working on
Yeah.
a new IP. So
Yeah,
if
I'm sure
that's
they
what they're
are.
working
And
on,
he said it like it's a future tense. Like it sounds like it's still in pre-production because he said that
Yeah.
it's going. Neil Druckmann said their next game is going to be really
Going.
hard.
And then tell me what he said right after CMoney. Go ahead, I'll wait.
Damn, you put me on the spot. I don't have that.
What
great
did
a
he
memory.
say? What did he say about his daughter?
Oh, but he's out soon.
Yeah,
He doesn't
he's
have more
out.
games to make because
He's like, I
wants
can't
time
even,
for his
I don't
daughter.
even see, I don't even know. The future ain't bright, bitches. That's what
Uh,
he said. We didn't even start
so-
working on the next game. And my daughter's
Yeah.
13. I got a few more years before she's an adult and I have time with her. I can't even commit, you guys.
he might not see the next game all the way
Come on.
through. That I agree with.
And-
But what I was the
so when do
only
you think
thing
it
I was
comes out?
saying-
26, 27?
So 20. So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be like 26 or 27, and that's what I'm suggesting. That's why I wasn't. I don't know.
And that's
I
not
wasn't
Last
saying I'm
of
getting a
Us.
PlayStation 5 Pro now.
I'm
I'm
telling you,
saying
you're not.
in the future.
That's St. Avenue.
I'm saying in the future they show me a Last of Us 3. That's how I need to get sold.
But-
It has to be a game like that.
But CMoney, that's not Last of Us. Because the game they're working on is some like sci-fi shooter thingy or something. I don't know. It was some weird whatever thing, right? They're working on
They're
another
doing
game.
sci-fi too?
They're doing some other game. That's what I heard.
Corey Fuckface from Santa Monica. I thought he was making a sci-fi game.
What I heard was that they're working on some new IP.
Oh my god.
That's what Naughty Dog was working
Jesus.
supposedly. And then they were going to come back to Last of Us. But I may be wrong, but
What the fuck?
that was the rumor I heard, was that they're working on something
this
else.
conversation reminds me of forgetting about things, not delivering, not doing, this whole place. My chapters. I forgot about my chapters.
What happened? Yo, we had so many
my chapters.
points
see?
where we needed chapters.
Mm,
But no,
more
honestly,
chapters.
when it comes to this Pro, like this entire thing for me is just stupid. They don't have any games that they're gonna release for it to take advantage of it, and then and then they don't even have games that I'm interested in playing that already released to go ahead and play it looking better or running better. Like, do you think I care that Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth will run at 60 frames per second on this thing?
Don't give a shit.
No, you
I
can play it
don't-
on PC at better anyways, right? Just wait. By the
Exactly.
time they patch
That's the
it, it's
problem.
probably coming to PC.
So
So
this
By the
is
time they
the real
patch it.
problem. This is the real problem. They are in a situation where they're going to release their games on PC day and date. Now it's funny because everybody made the jokes about, well, why do I need an Xbox if I could just play
The
everything
games are
on
gonna
PC?
come eventually.
But this is the thing, right? Xbox makes sense as a second place for you to play your game. So if you have a home, right, that's not just one bedroom, okay? If you have multiple rooms where you like to play, like for instance, you want to play in your, maybe your game room, maybe in the living room, you're not going to necessarily
Family
have your
room?
5090 in every room in your house, right? You maybe have your 5090 like I do, or the 4090 in the game, the man cave or the our cave, like it. Here we have it, but guess what? When we're upstairs, gonna sit down and play Fortnite with the kids, or we're gonna go do something late at night where we're around our family, I'm playing on the Xbox. That's where it is. Those are the affordable things to put in multiple places.
It's an interesting thing, right? Because the games that they have aren't really live service, right? And they're trying to move there, but not getting a lot of traction. Whereas Xbox, that's the whole thing. Our community's always been about playing together. It's just the way it is. It grew up with that, right? And so it actually is a good ecosystem for multiplayer, for playing Grounded, for playing, a Halo or Gears or whatever else. And they're going to own COD, and they're going to have all the casual games in Game Pass. And you have to sit there and say, well, why the hell not just get a very cheap Xbox and that you can put it everywhere and you can all play it together, right? It just makes sense. So my primary box is the Xbox. I go to PC when the performance sucks on the Xbox, right? And that suffices for me. Why? Because the PC still kind of sucks as an interface. So I still kind of like the ease of use of the Xbox. Plenty of power, does what I want. And then for the most part, I play my games there. And if I need to move up to PC, I move up to PC. So maybe like 5% of my games are there, and another 3% go to Switch because they're exclusive to Switch. The PlayStation games, I don't have FOMO. I just wait for the PC release. I'm happy to wait. It's totally fine. And their games are one and done. And when I had the PlayStation, it'll be like, this year they have nothing I care about. It's not even going to get turned on. And then, okay, they have one game. Cool. For that, like 1 month, I'll turn my PlayStation on, play the game, and then it collects dust for the next year, right? That's the way it is with them, right? Halo, I can pick up anytime and just keep playing because you just play. It's just an online live game. You play with your friends. We party up and start playing, right? They're adding new stuff this month. They're gonna have a custom firefight, right?
19.
There's all sorts of cool things that you can just keep playing. It's just the way it is. It's like the box is intended for that, right? They're going to be able to, if they want to do the marketing, say, look, all the casual games you want to play, they're in Game Pass or free to play. And they're all in our system. Come join Xbox, right? It's going to be a pretty cool box to have for casuals to move on to. And for those who want to play those Sad Dad Walking Simulator games, I'm sorry, those games coming to PC just kind of makes your box irrelevant. I don't need a PlayStation at all. I like the ecosystem of the Xbox because it's fun.
My 4090 is still more powerful than your little PS Pro, bro.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need it.
Significantly more.
I don't need it.
I'll tell you right now that these PlayStation 5 specs that they've been inflated like a balloon. It is all like a sad attempt to sell Sony PlayStation consoles at a loss, because we know, like, why are you so stuck into selling consoles? Why are you so 1994? Move on, create your ecosystem. Sony PlayStation is honestly behind. No presence on mobile, no presence on PC, no presence anywhere other than the plastic box. It's getting old. Kids are growing up playing tablet, playing on the phone. Some of them don't even care how many FPS the game runs. That's only like hardcore people. Like true gamers don't really care about none of that. Just go ahead and play the games, and they ask questions. Like, it looks a little blurry, so what? I play a bunch of games on the 360, on the original Xbox, on the PlayStation 1. Bro, these resolutions are crazy. 720p, 320p. I don't know what the hell I was playing at. I used to play in a black and white TV. I had no cable. For the sound, I used to play Contra with my cousin. We were talking about it. He came here from New York to visit me. And I was like, bro, do you remember how you used to make all the special effects for Contra? I was like, yeah, you had to go do it. We had no audio. He was like, do. And it was like, yayo, jump. Like, and then we had a blast. But when kids want to play, they don't care about none of that. And they are, like, kids are the main target here. It's not us. We all heads that gotta go to work, that gotta do a bunch of stuff, get our lives together, get on with the program. Kids are the ones that have all the time to play, and they're the main target. So why do a kid play games? Give a bunch of games on Game Pass. Your car as a parent is safe because he only has to download. He's not buying anything. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they would do the marketing for this with a colleague of mine, right? His kids have a Switch. That's where they play like their Fortnites and Robloxes and stuff like that. And then like he has an Xbox, and they tried it on the Xbox, and now he's a Series X, and it plays at 120 frames. They're like, oh, this is so much more smooth. Can we have an Xbox? That they need to market to that and say, hey, when you want to play these games a little faster, Don't get an X. Doesn't matter. You can get a Series S. You know, this much cost. Switch to this gives you these benefits. They just have to showcase that somehow, right? And make it so that people understand just how much better the gameplay is for the games they just already play, right? Because they're still casual games. Doesn't matter. They perform like all those games play at 120 on a freaking Series S, right?
Yeah.
Good enough. They don't care about, like, they're on a Switch. They obviously don't care about graphics. They just want it to run better. So it's fine, right? At least it's not 20 frames, 15 frames per second. You're getting 120 frames per second, right? Massive jump for them, right? So just a thing that they could, if they would just market it correctly, right? You can just capture that market. You go up from the Switch, you get the Series S, get freaking Game Pass, you get all sorts of games, including all the casuals that are already there, right? Roblox is free to play, Fortnite's free to play, and you just log in and you get all your stuff. So you're good to go, right? Just pretty cool stuff.
Facts. Real quick before we keep going, gotta shout out the homie Dragon's Blade.
Dragon's Blade, let's go.
Thank you, my brother, for
Thank
being
you
here.
so
Appreciate
much.
you, and thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Y'all know what to do.
Let's go.
Put the motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat.
Yes.
Welcome our homie Dragon
you so
Blade
much.
79, man. Thank you so much for rocking with us.
Welcome, baby. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. And we got the homie Pomoro. What's good, fam?
Pomoro, what's
Thank
up,
you for being
baby?
here, brother. Thank you for the Canadian Fire, man. Says, hey, y'all. Dark Doodle is here. Love it. Smash that like button and fuck them ponies.
Thank you, baby. Fuck the ponies.
If only they knew what's good. Pony crying. Yes, ponies do be crying. Fuck the ponies indeed. And remember, he asked you to smash that like button, and if you didn't smash the like button, what are you?
A pony.
Motherfucking pony. So make sure that you hit the like button.
A pickle riding pony.
Pickle riding pony. Facts.
That's not where it's at.
Thanks, Pomoro. Appreciate. Oh, look at the pony eating its dinner in. You know what I'm saying?
Salt licking ponies.
Salt licking ponies. Oh yeah, there they go.
Oh, look at him go! Look at him go!
The break.
Holy shit!
My soul.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy about it. It's crazy about it.
Facts. Facts. All right.
I love that shit.
Oh my God. Pomoro, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Shout out to Canada. Let's
The
go,
homie
baby.
Andre Doyle, man. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Appreciate you so very much.
Thank you,
And
Andre.
Thank you for that $10 super chat.
Thank you.
Says Microsoft is making the industry more innovative. I don't know why I just I was gonna say innovative. I don't know why I was gonna say it that way.
You wanted to give it a little swag, a little accent.
Flair.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Innovative.
No. Now I'm just gonna go back to innovative because now I feel like what the hell was I gonna say? More innovative.
It's the pony salt. That's fucking with you.
God. I'm gonna start this shit over because I done fucked this one up. Microsoft is making the industry more innovative and amazing and fun as gaming is meant to be. Sony stock tanks. No PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 6 Pro name is for Surface and Apple devices. Love Hargeet's backdrops.
Hell yeah, baby.
Facts. Listen, I got to tell you, you're 100% right, man. Microsoft is making the industry more innovative and amazing and fun. And the reason is because they have the money to allow those things to take place. See, Sony is like living in a stress box, right? It's like, oh my God, every game has to hit. If it doesn't hit, are we done? What's going to happen? I don't know what they're going to do. I said it before and I'll always say it. And we're seeing it bear out, right? Xbox is the only people out here that are allowing a safe place for creative people and creative games in the AAA space. That's just what it is. They're allowing,
and for the consumers to go ahead and feel like what they're saying will happen. That
crying pony. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I get it. It's fucking, this is what they're doing.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Poor little thing.
Poor little pony. My little pony.
It's true. It's true, y'all. It's true. Yeah, it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal.
Thick ass tears.
Then back to back, the homie Andre Doyle,
thank you so much.
Says with that $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you. It says
Thank you,
them
baby.
new Hellblade 2 screenshots are gorgeous.
Gorgeous,
It's
baby.
crazy.
Fire.
And that's what I was just about to say. Like, you take a small team like Hellblade 2, it's not like Hellblade 2, like Ninja Theory. It's easy to look at Ninja Theory and be like, hey guys, you're a small team, maybe spend a little less money, don't go so graphically intense, and just go a little less because it's gonna cost us a lot of money. But no, they don't help. Listen, Ninja Theory has ambitions, and they said it once before, they want to be the Naughty Dog of Xbox. And the thing is that the Naughty Dog of PlayStation
No longer
wants to be
exist.
the Naughty Dog of Xbox at this point. So this is the reality we're in. And Hellblade 2 is on a whole nother level, man. There's nothing out there even close, bro. Nothing even close. And again, the only ones that are close are Xbox themselves, because you look at Fable, that shit, we thought that shit was CGI. Ponies still think it's CGI.
Oh yeah,
They
for
don't want to
sure.
believe that that's real.
They're drinking the
But
Kool-Aid.
it looks just as good as Hellblade. It's just not as dark, but it looks so good, and it's going to be a
And
bigger
listen,
scale.
when you see Demo Flow's background,
18
when
months,
you're
no
that
game.
thirsty, you drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's gonna fix that up.
Facts. 100%.
These
Crazy
ponies
shit.
are out there delusional, dehydrated, and in need of Sea of Thieves, baby.
Absolutely. Nerds and other legends. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Thank you for that $5 super chat.
Thank you, baby.
Says-
Welcome.
He's dropping bars right now.
Drop them. Let's go.
Won't the PlayStation 5 Pro be held back by the PS5 base?
Ooh,
I was told that's how that works.
that's what we heard.
Ooh.
That's what we
100%
heard. Look
what
at
we heard.
the receipts.
Look
My
at the
people.
receipts. Ain't taking no shit from
They come
nobody.
correct, baby.
Oh snap! Dreadpool in the building.
In the building. What's
He
up,
said,
love?
What's up, fam? Thank you for being here.
Thank
Says,
you for rocking.
Naughty Dog of PlayStation wants to be Insomniac of PlayStation. That's true, man.
Yo, okay, hold up. Dreadpool, look what they've done. Look what they've done.
Yeah.
CD Joe.
Oh,
They amplified your shirt. See the
on
John,
point.
see the John on there. God damn it. God damn it. But so all right. So do we
Look in the building.
let's ask Duke, what's good, fam? Just kind of on the board. Do we believe that 2024 is going to give us this game, this pro? Because if you look at what they said, right? He said that he has they have documentation that says they can confirm that dev kits have been available to first party studios since September of 2023, okay, which was the end of last year. Third party studios have had it since January of 2024, which is 2 months ago. And in spring, which hasn't come yet, test kits will also be available, which will be identical to the final product. Okay. And he says that it's currently aiming for a tentative holiday 2024 release. Oh, but don't forget the caveat, which saves any reporter from having to be telling you the truth. But the date could change due to the lack of first-party games released on the PlayStation 5 this year. This is the thing. They knew in September of 2023 that they weren't going to have any games coming this year. So why would this even be a thing? Don't know. Don't know. I don't know what first party is working on that's going to launch this year. But do we think this is, I mean, do we think that there is a actual possibility that PlayStation 5 Pro gets released this year?
Well, let me tell you, if they release it this year, it's gonna flop harder than a turd on the toilet. Now, I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you why.
graphic.
Because yeah, very graphic, just like the device. Because look at this. You're releasing a console in a period of drought. I would personally, as a if I was in charge, I would be like, why don't we wait until we actually have games coming out so we can sell these games in bundles like we usually do to inflate our sales and get gain the favor of people to invest in our platform. That's what I would do. hold back a little bit, wait, hold your horses, hold your ponies,
There it is.
and
Hold your
don't
ponies.
just go ahead and release this because with no games, this is gonna be like owning nothing. What are you gonna do? Play old games? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, play Horizon Forbidden West? Like, what are you gonna play? Call of Duty? I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think. In my opinion, they gotta like wait it out a little bit and hold on tight, bite the pillow, grab the wall, scratch it down. You know what I'm saying? That's all they gotta do now. They gotta hold the line. Now it's their turn. Yeah, for sure.
Bite the
God.
pillow.
Yeah,
Bite the pillow, hold the wall, scratch down. What? What?
What a vision. What a
What?
picture.
It sounds exactly like what's going on right now. How the competition is
does.
going
It
right
does.
now.
God. Oh my God. Argy, what do you think, man? Do you think there's a real shot of this actually coming out?
I think it's baked, so it is coming. And since it's coming, the question is, do they wait till next year or not? I don't know. Like Nintendo decided they're gonna wait because they want to have a launch lineup.
Facts.
And that's the right thing to do, right? If you're gonna release a new thing.
Agree.
But so here's the question, right? Even if they do wait, what's the next game that you think is gonna actually take advantage of this? Besides GTA, what would potentially take advantage of this? Right? Because we don't even know what games are coming from them even next
Nope.
year, right? What we expect, just guessing, is Marathon, which has to run everywhere.
Mhm.
Potentially maybe Fair Games, and then Venom, right? That's what we know that potentially could come out next year. Maybe they have one other game, maybe from one of the other studios. But which one of those do you think is going to be a showpiece for this? Well,
Dude, they
I
can't
don't
even
know.
use. They don't have the money to make a showpiece for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
How are they gonna make a showpiece for the PlayStation 5 Pro?
Yeah, I
Could
mean, so
this
Spider-Man was
be-
supposed to
could
be that
this
game,
be-
right?
Yeah, which it obviously wasn't.
But
It
it
was
wasn't.
just it literally was it was literally Spider-Man 2018. It didn't look
Yeah.
any better. It looked crisper because it was 4K. They had the ray tracing in there, but again, it's low quality ray tracing. It's
But they
not
had that
like,
on
oh my God.
2018 as well, right? They brought
Yeah,
that
that's what
over
I'm
when
saying.
they
But
remastered it.
they made it before it was a mode in 2018. Now all the modes have the
Have that.
ray tracing, but it's all low quality ray tracing. It's not like this phenomenal ray tracing, right? So it's like that's all they did. They did nothing to make that showpiece worthy. And they won't do it. They have nothing in the pipeline to do that.
Exactly.
Every game they had, they canceled.
Yeah.
And
And
that's what we're going to talk about next.
retooled, right? Because they're retooling their studios to put out new games. And so that was why I was asking. Last of Us, I don't think Last of Us 3 is coming out for a long time. I don't think you're going to see it till the 2030s. But let's put that aside. I don't know what the heck this is going to showcase, so it may not matter, right? It may just be this is a third party, showpiece for games that can take advantage of it. Assuming
So
they do. You go ahead, sorry,
Agreed,
Doodle.
but so let me ask you a question because we've had the conversations before. We've talked about, okay, Xbox might jump early with their next system, right? We think it makes sense for them to go ahead and get that started and get Call of Duty, right? Looking its best, better than on PlayStation, right? And also being in Game Pass.
Yep.
Is this freaking Pro solely for the idea that Call of Duty won't look better on Xbox's next system? Can this be a way of them to say, okay, well, let's just put that freaking box out, and now Xbox doesn't get to say that Call of Duty looks.
It still won't be powerful enough. The next Xbox is going to blow this one out the water.
And I don't think it's going to be $700 freaking dollars.
No, maybe not. But I mean, this is the thing. If Xbox tells me they're putting this amazing box together and it costs $700, then I'm going to buy it. Like, I don't give a shit. It's Xbox, right?
I agree.
Whatever
They
they're
have
making,
freaking Game Pass. They're delivering games.
whatever they
They're not
put out,
canceling
I'm gonna
shit.
get.
If
Yeah.
anything, they're better than ever. But don't tell me that you're gonna go ahead and invest on a freaking PlayStation 5 Pro at $700 freaking dollars when we've seen what they are doing and the shit that they're going through.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it
No-
past them. They release that. Let's make more money and then duke everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
All they have
Now,
is
look-
remasters coming now on this PlayStation. That's what they're gonna have. The Last
Facts.
of Us 2 again, remaster, Final
That's what
Fantasy
they do,
Rebirth,
right?
remaster, whatever game they had last year, I can't remember, remaster. God of War Ragnarok, remaster for the PlayStation Pro. Bro, they milking
Spider-Man
these
2.
ponies, and I'm just out here
And
watching.
charge them another $10, right? Charge them
Yep.
another $10, $20 to upgrade.
Come on.
Which they probably should because they'll pay it. The headache you have here with this, like, so let's say there's another generation coming a year later, whatever. I don't know if this comes out this year or next year. It might be fine to come out this year. Fine. There's no games, but that's going to be because there's no other major games either. We have to see if something else is going to anchor the fall, right? Besides Xbox, what is coming out this fall? I don't know. That was supposed to be GTA. That's moved to 2025. So that's just, there's nothing else there. So I don't know what they're going to anchor it with. So we'll see, right? Maybe there's an Assassin's Creed that's going to be the big game that they decide to go after. Fair enough, right? So they'll have to figure that out. Next year, so this summer, sometime this summer, we'll know about the new Nintendo. That'll be next year's big hardware. The following year, it's going to be Xbox. The question will be, is what does Xbox do? Now, this is a double execution, so it's not really 33. It's really like 16 and 17 T-flops. Does Xbox go to like 40, 30? What level can they go to? Yeah. And then do they go to that?
The
And then
2026 box? I think they're going to go higher, bro.
well, no, it's double execution, right? So what I mean is that like for every clock, instead of it running one op, it's running two ops. That's how you're getting to 33. It's not really 33 T-flops. It's 16. It's 16 or 17 T-flops. And they're just doing double execution, right? That, at least that's what I understand of RDNA. I think it's 4. I think that's where it introduces this capability. So it's not actually 33. It's actually like 16, 17, right? So it was supposed to be 14. I guess they bumped it a little bit to 16, 17, right? You have to stay within a target. They're trying to make it portable. You can't make it too expensive. So they'll have to figure out what they want to do there. You're going to have enough CPU compute to say 60 is target for everything, right? Which this may not meet that. It may do it with scaling, right? With AI scaling.
Yeah.
So they keep the resolution down and just bump up the frame rate. But the CPU isn't going to be that much higher, at least from what we understand from the PS5 to the PS5 Pro. So these are the things that Xbox will have to challenge themselves with to say, how do we make it a much better box, right? Now, is this a PS6 essentially? Is this the PS6 or is this really PS5 Pro, right? And that's going to be the big question mark for them. If this is PS5 Pro and they have a PS6 coming, well, that's going to lead them to, if they really do put this out, there's going to be a couple of years where they're going to have to wait and not have something to compete with whatever Microsoft puts out. But again, ultimately, it all comes down to games. If the games aren't there, the PS2 was the least performant of the platforms that came out at the same time, right? From Nintendo and Xbox. But it didn't matter. It had the games. That was all that mattered, is it has the games. You have to have games. And that is the area they're entering in where there's going to be a lot of problem. This PS5 Pro might be great, just like the One X. Show me the games. What games do you have? We all complained. Where are the games, Xbox? What's going on? All we had was promises. Well, those promises are about to actually get realized. All those studios they bought, they're finally giving us games, right? Okay, cool. And it just keeps rolling. That train just keeps rolling. Like there's so many games coming.
It's always
right?
going to keep coming. PlayStation already shot its load. All the promises they made years ago, they're all done. They're all done. They came out. It's over. And the ones that did come out got canceled.
You are not the father.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know what happens as far as when these games come out because they got hit by the COVID lockdowns as well. And they had to start their games in that mode where it's tough to even start. Usually a lot of that is like design sessions together. And that's tough to do over a Zoom call, right? Or a Teams call. So I don't know how well that went. I'm sure they got delayed just like everybody else, right? So those games are probably going to be a little bit out. Probably more likely end of this gen or probably launch titles for the next gen. So I don't know what this does for them, right? The games that they had in play were going to be live games, and all of those have seemingly been canceled. So again, this is a very odd state for them to be in, but it's essentially the reverse of what happened to Xbox last gen. They don't have any games. Xbox didn't have anything then. They don't have anything now. And even though they bought studios, it's really not panning out for them. So we'll see. Maybe they pull a rabbit out of the hat and they have something cool and they have some capability to bring something, to the market that's gonna make it, a viable thing to buy this thing, right? That you want to have this high end graphics for this. GTA is the only thing that comes to mind, but I'll point out RDR2 looked fantastic on Xbox One X. It made no difference.
So I just saw it on Twitter. Somebody literally just wrote that on Twitter, saying that that the games are going backwards. That they showed RDR2, Red Dead Redemption 2, right? They showed 2 screenshots of it running 30 frames per second, 4K.
Stunning.
And then they showed Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth at their 4K quality mode with 2 pictures. Night and day, RDR2 smashes Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, a PlayStation 5 exclusive in quality mode. Looks like doo-doo compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's to show you that at the end of the day, is the caliber of the developer that can actually make shit happen. And what's happening is that the PlayStation 5 squad, right? The stable of developers that they have, they're lost because they have so much turmoil happening between games as a service, the games we like to make, the games we know how to make. What are we doing? Right. So they're relying on these third parties, and these third parties are not up to snuff. I mean, that's just the reality of what it is.
We can all thank the ABK deal for this mess.
Yeah, Xbox karate kicked the shit out of
They did. They didn't know this.
And that was Doodle, your question, right? Call of Duty. Look, one of the major things that's going to change, obviously, this holiday is Call of Duty will now be, actually this summer, Call of Duty will be marketed by Xbox. And once that shift happens, there will be some market shift towards Xbox. That's just going to happen, right? Because people don't really usually, do the research to figure out, oh, it's everywhere. They will just say, oh, this is Xbox. Okay, I want to go get an Xbox, right? And, there's going to be all these old, Call of Duty games coming back, right? Because 360 emulation actually exists on the Xbox. It does not. PS3 emulation does not exist on PlayStation. So those games are going to come back, and they will now be available in Game Pass if you want to, or you have your disc. If you still have your old 360 disc, throw it in. You can play the old games. They're all going to come back alive, right? And the nostalgia is just going to bring people back. And they'll say, hey, I can just buy this Series S and get Game Pass, and I can play all the old ones that I remember playing. Cool. If they make it cheap enough, people will jump in. What that means,
the servers are on.
Exactly, but they're not in Game Pass yet, right? So you do have to have a disc, right? So if you're on a Series X, great. If you're on a Series S, no. But either way, whatever, like that is, they're cheap enough. You can buy them again if you want. But so that is kind of the world they're going to be going into. That will hit PlayStation, right? So is this a COD play? Unless Microsoft is sitting there going, hey, why don't we market it on PlayStation? I don't see how it is, right? Because ultimately, look, Microsoft can be very nice and say, we will play nice and market it along with it and show PlayStation screens, unlike what PlayStation did to them, because there was no mention of Xbox.
Let him die. Let him die.
So, and look, Microsoft may want to play nice, fair enough, but reality is it's going to show Xbox. It's going to be on an Xbox stage. They're going to showcase their game. It's their game now. And they're going to show it with their console bundled in. You'll get many deals for it bundled with the Series S and X this holiday. It's just the way it's going to be. When that happens, what happens to PlayStation? So you're not going to have a Call of Duty bundle with a PS5 Pro. What happens, right? Is the mind share going to shift, right? And if this happens to be the first time Call of Duty requires you to buy a new console, because up to now they've been cross-gen, well, that kind of really hurts PlayStation now, doesn't it? I don't know where this ends up. This is just a weird place to be in a world where PlayStation has no games. That's where we are. That's literally where we are. I don't know what that world is supposed to do, right? So if you have nothing to showcase, you have nothing to give us, what's going on? Maybe this summer they come up and say, here's the next 3 years, and we have all these games we haven't talked about. Cool. But looking at their studios, I'm like, which one? Who's bringing what? Are you doing
likely.
third-party deals again? We just talked about that. I don't think third-party publishers are interested anymore. So I don't know what they show. I'm just not
Only
sure.
if
It
they
could
already suckered them in. You know what I'm saying? Like the only
Yeah.
chance they have is if they already got them locked down before the results of their deals went through. Like that's
Yep.
the only way, right? You got to imagine if they had games that were ready. First of all, we know that they don't have anything this year, even in third party deals. Okay, like that's just the truth because they already came out and showed us their slate for this year. And then coupled with the fact that they also told us there's nothing coming from first party, there's no surprises that are going to be coming unless they're small titles. So that's a nothing burger there. There's nothing for them to show. At the end of the day, they already
Yeah.
shot the load, man. They shot their load. They got nothing coming.
So this will come out. I don't know how it'll do. I'm sure there will be a lot of upfront sales from enthusiasts. They'll just buy it because why not, right? And then it'll fizzle because it's going to cost a lot. There's just no way around it. It's going to cost a lot. So if it's going to be upwards of $600, $700, I don't know how many people are going to adopt it. What would be the point? Like you have to have something to actually take advantage of it. Now, if they showcase games, and that's a big problem, they showcase games that take advantage of it in some way, cool. But here's the difference. Like, is it going to be that much better? They're going to show some like ray tracing. Has ray tracing really shown off until you got to path tracing? Not really, right? You're almost better off with baked lighting. It seems to do pretty well. With baked reflections, it seems to do pretty well. Ray tracing really hasn't been that killer thing, right? And once you get to path tracing,
actually use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, use it very well because it's hard to do all three at the same time, right? Because it's too computationally big for most of the consoles. Now, could this one maybe do it? Well, maybe if you took a 3080 Ti, which I mean, so this is going to maybe compare maybe more to like a 3070, right? If it does something at that level, could you?
Not at 60.
Maybe. Yeah,
Not
that's
at
kind of the
60.
problem, right? And so if you really want that,
even the 4090, if you put Cyberpunk maxed on it, it cannot reach those levels. You have to use DLSS to get to the numbers that you want.
which I mean, they're going to have that baked in, right? So let's presume that
they're going to
that's
have
what
their
they do,
version
right?
of it. DLSS is a
Correct.
whole different monster.
Right. So again, we'll see what that does, but I think there's going to be like it's going to be hard for them to showcase it, right? What is the delta from here to there? It's hard to tell unless you go to path tracing, which if the next gen Xbox shows that, says, hey, you know what, we will do path tracing at 60.
They will.
That's the only game changer left. Right after that, what do you have? So I think if that's what they do, that's going to suck for them, right? So if they can do 60 because they bump the CPU up, they give you the path tracing because they have the GPU horsepower to do it, I think that's going to be the big game changer. This is an in-between step. I just don't know what they're going to show to make it viably useful, right? At least the One X, you could see, okay, it was 900p and now it's 4K. It looks dramatically better. Cool. Yeah, I like it. Let me get that. Right. It made it easy to get that, the mid-gen refresh, right? Or the mid-gen upgrade. In this case, it's going to be tougher to sell unless you have something dramatically different. You already have ray tracing in Spider-Man.
They would have to show us. Just like you mentioned, they would have to show us the future to get anybody even close enough to doing it. But even then, I still think you end up with goose eggs this holiday season. I think you just get
8K thing.
No,
give me a
that's
break.
that.
8K. Who has an 8K TV and why do you need it?
You don't need it, especially like I was really close to getting an 8K TV when the Series X and all that stuff was going to come out because at the same time Nvidia was doing a lot of showing their DLSS could take you to 8K. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe. But then it became another burger. So like nobody's doing 8K. So I was like, all right,
yeah, the visual acuity you would need to see 8K, you would have to be like this close to your TV.
And I got shit vision. So
and it's like your TV would have to be massive, and you're like this. It would just be uncomfortable. There's just no point. I don't see it. 8K just makes no sense. 4K barely.
120. 4K 120.
Right, yeah, and it's a sweet spot. Now you might say, hey, you can go to 144, maybe even higher on the frames. Okay, cool. There is some potential that it might feel more fluid.
Needs to support that. Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, right? So that might be the next tech bump that actually matters is that you say, okay, instead of 120, we can do 240, but it's 4K. Because I don't see 8K just seems irrelevant to me, right? Movies don't even do that, right? You're talking way ridiculous amounts of resolution. Like, why would you need? And those movie screens are what, like behemoth, massive things, right? You just don't need it. It's just so ridiculous to even think that you need 8K. Why even waste the computational power on it? 4K, 1440, to be honest, 1440 with 4K, you know, with path tracing at 60 plus, sweet spot. It's great. 1440 plus, you're in good shape. That's what they really need to work on. So I don't know. I don't know what this gives you. So we will have to see how they demo it. I think it's going to be a hard sell unless it can showcase something that says we've got path traced and here's the before and after, and it looks stunningly better. It's tough to do because they already look good. The games already look good. So it's like, what are you really going to show? So
let me get real quick before we keep going. Let me get some super chats in here. But before we do, shout out to the over 300 people that we have rocking with us. Again, we got about 210 over on YouTube, and we got like 100 people watching us on Twitter, man.
Guys, thank
That's
you for
really
rocking
dope.
out with us.
Don't be shy. All right, we can see your chats if you're on Twitter.
Come on in.
Talk. We could talk to you. So we have the homie Abacab, my man. Thank you,
What's
brother,
up, baby?
Sorry for waiting so long, man. Appreciate you though. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says Ninja Theory also states they wanted to make AAA games at the cost of indie games. Hellblade 2 may show how that can be done. Well, 100%. It's not even may show at this point, bro. This is
they are showing.
You can see it. You can see it. This is not a 1,000-man studio. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a small studio who is punching way above its belt. But again, you're talking about the skill and the craftsmanship
and the
passion that they have. That is, I mean, at this point, second to none, bro. Like at this scale, what they're making. I mean, obviously, listen, it's an 8-hour experience, or I would say maybe 12 hours, depending on your mileage or how slow you go through the game. But like that's a good, like, for this intensive a game, you don't want it to be any longer than that. Okay, it's an intense game. You're gonna hear a lot of shit in your head, so for sure, the length of time is more than enough. But they are definitely just killing it with what they're able to do, and they have other projects coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's not that big of a gap between them, because what it looks like is that all the tech is being kind of bore out on Hellblade, right? So all the tech is going to be proven out here. Everything they want to use is going to work here, and then they're just going to roll that into all the other things that they got going on. I'm really, really impressed with who they are and what they've shown to be. So that's pretty dope. The homie Big Boy Mike the building.
Let's
Thank
go.
you, my brother, for being
Thank
here, man.
you
Thank you
so
for that
much.
$2 super chat. Says PlayStation 5 Pro will be okay. Less games is better. And he's referencing the Colin Moriarty of the world, saying that it's better to have less games.
It's genius.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So
thank you, guys.
Let me get the other one here. You got the homie and Andre Doyle, man.
Andre, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you for that. $5 super chat. Says Xbox PC hybrid powered by Microsoft AI and cloud, 64 cores, 128 threads. If there is a PlayStation 5 Pro, it'll only be the same 8-core, 16 thread Zen 3 processor. Listen, this is what I would say. Sarah Bond on that podcast came out and said that the next Xbox will be the biggest technological leap that they've ever done on a console. And that is
promising,
huge,
exciting. Yes.
And I, for one, I believe Xbox will deliver. Xbox, I think, is going to crush it and give us something super powerful, man. So let me get this here real quick. There's another one here. Oh, the homie Andre Doyle, man, back to back, man. Thank you, brother, for being here. Thank you. $2 super chat. Says Microsoft got tons of money for this to be $549 max. I mean, I don't disagree. I think that they'll not want to scare the market with the number. And if this is going to be their next gen, if this is their real next gen box, then yeah, they're going to I say 500 is the mark. Maybe maybe 6 if they want to like if they're putting something in here that's going to blow your mind. But I think they're going to want to go 199, what 399, and then 599. I could see them do a 600 and have a $200 space between that and the Series X and then the other one. Um, but um, at the same time, it's a I don't know. I think they got it. They have the money to make it all happen. It's just gonna be what they're willing to do it at. And then the homie Andre Doyle, man,
Andre, thank you.
back, my
Thank
brother,
you
man.
so
Thank you, player.
much.
Thank you for that $2 super chat. Says the next Xbox PC hybrid will be using Zen 5. Oh, damn, that's a big Zen 5 to Zen. They skipped Zen 4? The hell happened to Zen 4? Did AMD stop? Did they just skip numbers and shit? Did they pull an Xbox and jump to
No, it's just
360?
that's the next one that's coming up, right? I think is 4 already out?
Oh, 4 is already out. So they
It
already have
might
the
already
next
be out.
version of it. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. And then you have the homie Robert Jr., my dude,
Robert,
man.
what's up,
Thank you,
baby?
brother, for being here. Appreciate you. And thank you for that $5 super chat. It says, was it 4 or 5 or etc. games that got canceled on PlayStation 5? Yo, you ain't wrong. A matter of fact, that's where we're gonna go next, guys. We're gonna jump on over to is it here? No, is it this one? Yes. All right. So as we know, we just got word not just got word, we knew that they had canceled the Spider-Man multiplayer game, and we saw it in the leaked documents from Insomniac's thing before. um but we didn't see it, you know what I'm saying? Like we knew of it, we didn't know how far along it was. But we did get to see it now due to some leaked trailers, and I gotta tell you, man, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. You know why? Because they're still talking about releasing that stupid ass PlayStation 5 Pro. How does it not make sense that your PlayStation 5 Pro launch with online fucking multiplayer game for
Yep.
Spider-Man? Or now after seeing this, and I want to get your takes on it, guys, but after seeing this, I now doubt heavily that Factions wasn't amazing. It seems like the caliber of the game didn't have anything to do with their decision to cancel the game. I think their pockets were the reason why the game got canceled. They didn't think that they could sustain the future of these games. They couldn't afford to keep paying for these games as an ongoing service, especially something at this caliber.
This
Like,
looks
let's be
so cool,
clear,
dude.
this looked
If you
really
cannot
well done.
afford the games, then why are you investing in boxes? Why are you
Man,
making systems? Like, what is happening? What mentality? What are we doing here? If you can't afford the games, get the fuck out the game. Stop.
facts.
Yo,
I
I want
think
those kicks. You saw that?
Yeah. If I was a PlayStation fanboy, I would rather for them to have games than a new console. Straight up.
yeah, dead ass. Dead ass. I mean, that's like when I saw this, I was like, fuck, a game that would actually make me want to turn on my PlayStation, because PlayStation 2, I'm sorry, Spider-Man 2 wasn't it, man. Turned it on, played it for a
Flop.
little bit. It was like, no, this is whack. It's the same shit. But this being able, if I could have been there, have Doodle on another one, and she's hopping in, and have my son on another one. We're going out
Batman,
here and
Purpleberry. Yep.
doing all this shit. Like this would be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be fire. But instead, no, they canceled it. And again, you think about Factions and the way that it was talked about by Naughty Dog. Because again, if you read the thing that they said, they were like, it was the funnest game that they played. They love playing it. They played it every day. They're still playing it. It's like clearly, and again, obviously they said it, they would have to choose. Do they want to keep making single player experiences, or do they just have to go all in to sustain Factions going forward? And I mean, why don't you ask Epic, okay, if they want to stop Fortnite battle royale mode to go back to save the world mode. All right, let's see which one that they would want to have. No, you stupid sons of bitches. If the game is on fire, if people are sweating it, if people are loving it, then yes, you change your ways and you sit there and you keep working on it. If it comes out and people play it for a few months and then it fizzles away, okay, then you decide what you're gonna do. You move on. Go make the single player game, whatever the fuck. But put it out and give it a goddamn chance.
Give it a
Give it
chance.
a
Can you
chance, bro.
imagine if they go ahead and they say we're gonna go ahead and release the PlayStation Pro, PlayStation 5 Pro, and it's going to release with factions too, and with the freaking multiplayer of freaking of
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for $700. Now you're making it make sense.
Yep.
Now I'm like, that's a little juicy. That's not that dry chicken you've been feeding us.
It's not that
You know
dry
what I'm
chicken.
saying? So I'm just saying, make it make sense. That will make it make sense for me.
Yeah, man.
Sony's scared to take risk, and that's always been their Achilles heel. Being afraid to take the first step, being afraid to be like, okay, we're gonna make this weird thing, and let me see what these people, whether these people like it or not. But they've always been afraid of it. That's the problem.
Well, at least in recent history, right? So
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
right,
you're
when
right.
they started, they used to do it all the time. Look, I think the problem here is that they have a very, very high quality bar that they have set for themselves, which requires a very, very, very high budget. And if you can't guarantee an income stream, it becomes a problem. That's what's causing all these to shut down. Is now it's like put up or shut up time. Like you have to put in the investment to say, all right, we've got something, it's workable. Do you want to invest enough to make this into a game? Here's a $200 million bill. Do you want to do it or not? And so Hiroki has to sit there and go, wait, what's my return here? What's your projected return on investment as far as microtransactions? Oh, you don't have those in there? Oh, so what am I making off of this? Well, you might make half your money back. Hang on. Because remember,
Let
this
me do
still,
the math.
this still has to pay the royalties, right? For everything. It's inclusive of microtransactions. You still have to pay the royalties, right? So wait, what's the financials on this where I'm going to get a return on it? And if they don't want to relent on each one of these has a massive story arc with massive cinematics with a whole bunch of motion capture, a whole bunch of voice lines, all that just adds up. It's all money, right? And you have to figure out, is it worth it? And if
I
you
agree,
take
but
that away,
don't you think that maybe this is something they should have thought about before jumping in?
I'll
Like,
just say
why
there were
go
different
ahead and
people
get to
in
this
charge
point
before.
to just cancel these things?
True. Different people
I
in
will say
charge
there were
before.
there were different people in charge before. Some of them may have been let go. So
Ooh.
Oh, Jimmy Jim.
I mean,
Sean-
it is what it
Sean
is.
didn't.
Connie and Jim are gone, right? They made these decisions, and they're no longer there. That's essentially it. And you look at the budget for something like this. You look at factions, the same problem. They're like, okay, well, how do you monetize this? Cool that you like playing it. That's nice. How do I make money off of it? Right? You want to spend, and it's probably going to be the same thing. We need like $150-200 million to make this happen. And then, as you saw from their note, they basically needed to have their entire studio working just on that to keep it going. They're like, but we want to make single player games. Cool. And there's nothing stopping you from schisming off a team and saying we're going to grow that team and just do that if you have a way to monetize. And I think that's been the problem. They don't. And that's what Bungie brought to the table to say, you guys never baked in how you're going to have like a game loop where people come in every week and make sure to spend money in you. That's not how this works. So that kind of fizzled for a lot of these. Jim had the idea that they were going to somehow not run into the same issues that every other company that's taken a single player focused studio make a multiplayer live game, that they would learn from all those mistakes and they would not make those mistakes. Yet apparently they made all those same mistakes because that's just the way this is. It's not easy to do, right? So I'm not surprised. It's disappointing that these games don't get made, but It's quite frankly, it's Sony's fault. They make these very expensive games, and to get a return, you need to sell it to as many players as possible, and you need to have ways to make it more financially viable. And maybe that does include microtransactions. Maybe that does include, splitting your game into threes or whatever it is that makes it so you can bring enough money back, and you can actually get something that can be made and actually make money for the company. They're not going to just do this as charity. They're looking to make money to give back to their shareholders. So this is unfortunately the world they're in, and they have to figure out what to do. And apparently Hiroki came in and said, "You're stupid. We're not doing this." What were you thinking? So at least that's how I see it, right? Because all this happened when that announcement came, right? All these games started getting canceled when that announcement came. Jim Ryan is retiring, and Hiroki is taking over. And suddenly, Connie Booth is gone, and every one of these live games is gone, and studios are shutting down, and so Twisted Metal's gone, the studio's gone, Deviation Game's gone, on and on and on and on, right? It just keeps going, right? All these games are gone. So I think he's just saying, yeah, you want me to spend how much money, and you have no way of getting a return, right? Yeah. And the company that's supposed to be giving me like a money printing machine in Bungie ain't printing any money anymore. No thanks. Tell me how we're gonna just be profitable. Let's figure that out first. And he's seeing what Microsoft did and said they put all their games on PC day and date. We're doing that, right? And you see the Helldivers success, and he's like, yeah, that just says we're solidifying that plan. Thank you. That's what's gonna happen. They need to shift. Unfortunately, that means these kind of games that were good concepts, they may not see the light of day, and that's unfortunate. They may, but it would take changing the game enough to say, here's how we're going to monetize. And we've given up on the idea that this is going to be exclusive to just our platform. It will be everywhere. Now, these live games were always going to go PC day and date anyway, right? So this should have been PC day and date anyway. But add it to Nintendo, add it to Xbox, put it everywhere. You just want it everywhere. Cloud is another thing, right? It potentially gives them another vector to just get more players, mobile, right? And mobile is getting to the point where they could probably play these games natively, right? And so you have to get to that level and say, I need 100 million players to make it viable. Okay, cool. That is a possibility. It's just not right now. And so it might be something that they can come back to later. But this specifically, the annoying part is, again, all those royalties still apply. And that's a real, bummer when it comes to the fact that you have to give 20-25% of whatever you make. Profit irrelevant. Whatever you make is going to Disney, right? Before you even can say I made my money back and then I make a profit, right? You're taking a quarter of it off the top and giving it to Disney. That's a lot. It's a lot of hit, right?
It is.
So Factions at least is their own. They could come back to it and do something with it. Maybe they do when they get to Last of Us 3 and they in the 2030s. We'll see if they bring that back.
I'm gonna have arthritis by then. I go with arthritis. Can't control my character. Give me an adaptive controller. Get out of here.
So yeah, I mean, it's sad, but this was all predictable. And I've been saying this for so long. I'm like, dude, this is not a good idea. You don't want to have your studios that make all these single player focused games make live games. It's just not going to work. It almost never does. Go get smaller studios. Go make something else, or go buy somebody who's already done it and it worked. Well, they did with Bungie, and it kind of started failing. So we'll see what happens, right? Because this is just the world that we're in, right? Games can fizzle too. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. You're probably going to see more of these. I'm expecting to see probably more layoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are some at Xbox as well. But I would definitely not be surprised if there are more layoffs at Sony. Yeah. There might even be more studio or team closures, right? That just happen along with it. I don't know what else they have in the works, right? They might have things that are behind the scenes with smaller teams, and that might go away. We'll see. And I did look at the Naughty Dog thing. They are working on some sci-fi game, space exploration-y, maybe something Starfield-like. That is the game they're working on now. So supposedly. But so I don't know when that comes out. Maybe 27, 28, 26. I don't know. Probably in that range. Then they start working on Last of Us. So we're looking at 2030 somewhere before you 2032, 3, 4, 5, something like that before you see Last of Us 3. And I assume at that point, it seems like what's his name is not going to be with it, right?
Roki.
Why am I forgetting his name?
Roki
The
Tezuka?
main writer.
Oh,
No,
Neil
the
Druckmann.
writer dude. Neil.
Druckmann.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, he's gonna be out
Yeah.
like a thief in the night.
So he's yeah, he may not be there anymore.
Yeah, he's gonna
But
be
yeah,
out. He's gonna be out.
like
He packed
there's
out.
yeah, I don't know about Ghost of Tsushima because I heard again they were also trying to make that a live game. What I'm more afraid of is they do what they did with things like Redfall, where they say, okay, we don't need to make it live anymore. But unfortunately, there's like this live element to it that's kind of still there, and it kind of sucks because it's grindy and stupid, and it's still going to be there, right? And so, like, I hope they pivot it back and say, okay, we have to start from scratch, which sucks from a timing perspective.
That's
and
what
a
it sounds
cost
like,
perspective.
bro. Sounds
But
like. You know the other thing to keep in mind about those other games, dude. Like, this just be real. We talked about it before. Not today, but we've done it on the channel where we talked about that sheet that I had put up on one of the shows that showed from time of announcement to time of release of the PlayStation games,
Mhm.
and they're always a year and a half to 2 years out. So understand that even if you think back 2 years ago, right? Like, they were not in this position, but they still didn't show us those games.
yeah,
You understand? Like 2 years ago, they didn't know they were going to be in this predicament that they are right now, and they still didn't show us those games. So that means back then they still had no fucking clue what they were doing, or the games they were doing weren't at a good enough, level to show yet. And
yep.
now with all these changes, they're even more in the shitter. Demo, before we go to you, man, let me go ahead and get some of our homies out here. The homie Andre Doyle, man. Thank you, my brother, for
Andre,
being here,
thank you
man.
so
Appreciate
much,
you so
baby.
much. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says, yeah, Zen 4 is in the new Surface lineup, laptops and PCs this spring. Hargeet's point on path tracing, it's much better in ways. RoboCop has it. RoboCop is the one game that I have zero interest in playing because I don't care about RoboCop, but it's the game that I want to play because of how graphically impressive it looks. And I'm so like tormented. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to play it, but I don't want to buy it because I know that I'm not going to give a shit about the game, the story. At least I don't think so. But yeah, that's hopefully it comes to Game Pass, man. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. You got the homie Spartan661, my man.
Spartan,
Thank
what's
you,
good, baby?
my brother. Appreciate
Thank
you, my
you.
man. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says, I love the fact that I have a backlog and I'm not starving for games. I have so many games to play right now, even without the games Xbox releases this year. I mean, yeah, 100%, bro. Like, that's literally the blessing that we have over here on the Xbox side. Every time I go to sit down and I don't know exactly what I want to play, it's so dope that I could just be like, you know what? What's released on Game Pass lately? What's going on there? What's the most popular thing on Game Pass right now? Let me see if there's something that I overlooked or didn't get a chance to play or try out. And I just get to live like an amazing life that way. Like, this is so dope, man. It's so dope. It's crazy. Um, the homie Andre
Andre,
Doyle,
thank
my man,
you.
back to back, bro. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you,
Thank
my
you so
man.
much.
Says Microsoft has money to let the devs make any game they want, whether live service or single player. Sony just can't do it anymore. Sad for those devs.
It
Yo,
is. It
it's
is.
so true, man. It's so true. It's fucking crazy. And that's why we love Phil, right? Like, Phil literally went ahead and the day they closed ABK came out and said, you know what? We are going to go ahead and I'm sorry, not we are going to, he's going to go ahead, get on a plane the same day. He didn't go on vacation. He didn't say, okay, this is cool. Let me go and, take a
Take a
break
break.
and then
Breathe.
I'll get to it. No, immediately they closed. Immediately he's on the plane to go visit King, see what they have cooking, see what they want to do, see what their plans for. What are they passionate about? That's the keyword, passionate. He uses that often because passionate developers make amazing games. People who are forced to make something they don't want to make, they don't make amazing games. It's just what it is, right? Look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, it felt uninspired.
Uninspired. Yep.
It felt like they were just forced to just make this thing on a small budget. They had to cut out anything they really wanted to do. It feels like this was probably part what they actually wanted to do. Because if you look at it, it looks like they've been making this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So you already kind of get that feeling that this was the passion project, and Spider-Man 2 they had to put out to pay the bills, right? They had to put that out to bring some dollars in for Sony while they worked on the thing they actually wanted to make. And look what happened. Now they're out of that. Right now, they're forced literally to become essentially warehouse workers and just like make Marvel games forever. Like that's literally where they
Make
are
the
right now.
games, they said. We'll release the games, they said.
It's true. Like it's just I don't know, man. I'm very I don't know. I've grown very disenchanted with a lot of this crap that they have going on. So demo real quick. What do you so like what do you feel about these games that got canceled, the position that Sony's in, and then more so because I feel like this is a telling, like this is telling me that Factions probably was look dope. Like I feel like the other games they canceled were not because they didn't look good, but because they couldn't afford to sustain them. Same thing makes me question Twisted Metal. I can only imagine how that looked. Like you just don't know now, right? But seeing this has now put that in my mind.
I mean, yeah, all the
You know
games
what I'm
that were
saying?
canceled, like what was really,
Yeah.
not
Well,
worth releasing.
right. And in my opinion, this is what went down in Sony with the way passionate people that used to work there, like like Hargy say, like Connie Poof. She's been like even by David Jaffe, you know, uh, regarded as one of the pillars of Sony and one of the people behind all the creativity and pushing all these projects. And now with her being gone, she had no saying on these projects and amazing games that she's made throughout the years. Because despite the fact that I'm not really into Sony games, I cannot really stand here and say they shit because not true. It's just not my cup of tea. And honestly, they were they had some stuff in mind that was not working or wasn't going to work financially, which is why Hiroki Totoki took over. And it was like, oh, listen, we're losing money here, we're losing money there, our sales are down. Yeah, we're selling these consoles where we're not squeezing the juice out of them, we're not making enough money on these consoles. So how can we improve our profit margins? How can we widen and broaden our audience? You know what I'm saying? So what they basically what they were trying to do is like to re regroup and rethink what are we doing wrong. And sadly, in this a lot of projects that look good went down the drain because they were like, okay, look, we're not sure how to execute this idea properly. Maybe it's time to sit back down, relax, take a deep breath, and see what can we do to make these games amazing. So, in my opinion, games like Spider-Man, like this Spider-Man game that you just showed the trailer, they might be put basically on hold, on ice. They might not be completely done. Okay, so they were canceled for the moment because they obviously don't have the capital to push these games. So the ideas are still there. Now, in my opinion, they taken the wrong approach. And instead of pushing multiplayer and live service games that they're supposed to be pushing to be making this money, right? Instead of like you say, this game should have become should have come before Spider-Man 2. Maybe give that Spider-Man 2 a little bit of time to get cooked better, to to get rid of some stuff that wasn't worth it to keep. And maybe this could have been like part of the game or come before the game. And you know, Sony PlayStation is just afraid to do early access because they talk of, oh, we have so much quality. And sometimes you get games like, it's okay, just drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Let people play the game and allow real players to give their opinion on the game. Maybe a beta before you cancel. Let's see. and then we monetize. We add a bunch of skins, and that's it. That's all people need. Then we can think about, you know what I mean, about the content of the game and how we move forward with the story to get more engagement. Similar to what happened to Halo. Halo, they just drop it. We don't have the content. They weren't scared. Okay, you know what? Push it. A lot of people say, "Oh no, that's not quality." But so what? Like everybody on that 2021 December Christmas was playing Halo. If you hate it later for like after 3 or 4 weeks and you got bored, that's on you. But I continue to play Halo, even though I was playing the 4 damn maps on rank because I wanted to make it the Onyx. You know what I'm saying? And after that, they started releasing these seasons, and it started improving the game, and they built something special that everybody thought that it was gonna be dead. And nowadays, Halo is like, wow, Halo Infinite is one of the best Halos they ever done. If you look at the content, the amount of amount of maps, Forge, they got Super Mario in there, like 2D Super Mario and Forge. They got Mario Kart. They did Hell Divers. You can basically do everything on Forge, and that keeps your community, engaged. So that's where Sony PlayStation, they need to like grow a pair and be like, okay, people are gonna talk shit about this game, but we're gonna continue to improve this game to make it better. And I think that's what they should have done with this game specifically. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I hear you, bro. They
Not
should
be
do this.
scared. Push your shit, bro. Put it down there for
Stop
people
being
to
a
play.
bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop being a bitch. All right. So yeah, I mean, listen, it
Who's
is
your
what it
champ?
is. We'll see what PlayStation has in store in the future. Kind of is what it is at this point. I do want to switch over to this here, which is Embracer and Saber splitting ways. Um this broke. I mean, we knew Embracer was gonna have to get rid of people. Like they have a shit ton of studios. We know that they got screwed on that deal with Saudi Arabia or something like that. That was supposed to give them a couple $1 billion, and it was supposed to, kind of sustain them and make everything good. And now everything shit the bed. So they've been closing studios, letting people go, and it seems like Saber just happened to be in a good enough position what it seems like to save themselves. I mean, that's what I take from this. So, uh, if you see here, Saber went ahead and put out a letter to the staff that says, "Dear Saber family, today through a company we formed called Beacon Interactive, we have agreed to buy back the rights to Saber and all of its worldwide studios and exclusive contractor relationships: Madhead, Digic, Nimble Giant, Fractured Byte, Slipgate, 3D Realms, New World Interactive, SPL, Stuntworks, Bytex, 4A, and Zen, totaling over 3,000 developers across the world." Damn, I didn't know Saber.
Wow.
I didn't know Saber was big like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We have decided precisely on these studios for acquisition because we believe they represent the best of what Saber is and can be. This group comprises some of the most talented and creative developers in the world. Our track record and, more importantly, the projects we have in development speak volumes about our capabilities. I truly believe that we currently have the best collection of game developers in the industry. Thanks to you all. And then Tim Willits went ahead and added recently, he said, "I have received a lot of questions concerning the status of some of our previously announced projects now that Saber has separated from Embracer. I'm happy to confirm we're still working on a number of titles, including Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and Jurassic Park Survival. We're so excited about these titles and can't wait to share more with everyone." Um, so I mean, obviously, is good news um, that they were able to, avoid being shut down or having something bad happen. And it seems like not only were they able to save themselves, but they also saved quite a few studios. Specifically, the one that I think is most important for me is 4A Games. I love the Metro franchise. I think Metro Exodus was amazing. And fun fact, Hargeet, obviously but they did go ahead and do a completely path trace / ray trace version of the game on consoles, which is wild that they were able to do that and it looks amazing versus other places that can't. Um, but I mean, is Saber and the IP and the studios that they have, I mean, do you guys give a shit about them as an entity? I mean, personally, for
course.
your particular gaming habits, not like oh, I'm a good person and I care that they survived. I'm talking about just as a gamer. I mean, we know, I guess Saber, they did a lot of work with Call of Duty, right? Am I not mistaken? Is it them or some other place?
Not
Um,
sure.
but where do you guys sit with this? I mean, obviously this is good. They avoided it. Did you guys know that Saber was that big that they had bank like
No,
that?
I don't think they were so big. But now that you mentioned they're working on Space Marine 2, and I'm looking forward to that game. I love that game back in the 360. I actually play a Gun, which is like a Space Marine game too. So Space Marine 2, I'm hyped for it, and wow, I didn't think they were working on so many projects. In my opinion, I thought they were, like whatever this studio is, whatever. But now
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, definitely important. New World, isn't that the one, the Amazon game? New World?
New World
Or
Interactive.
oh,
Is
all right,
that
all
them?
right.
Well,
Ah,
I
yeah, I
New
thought it
World
was New
Interactive.
World, that Amazon game. I was like, did they work on that? Like, oh, okay,
don't know.
I can see. I was like, yeah, I'm like, they big then.
So
Yeah, I mean
go
it's
ahead.
it's it's kind of cool that they're able to do this, I guess. The question is how do they are they just raising capital and then just paying them and then they'll have debt? Is that kind of what's happening? I'm not sure how they're doing it in other words, but
Unless they
um
have it like that. I mean, $500 million, because which is what it costs to get 4A and Zen with the other studios. Um, which is crazy because you look at it and basically half of the costs are for like all those other studios, but then just those two studios double the cost, right? Like more than double the cost, which is wild. Um, but I really didn't know they had bank like that. Um, I mean, it's a little shocking to me, but I guess the real question is why did Embracer, well, I guess maybe Saber has the money that other people don't, but why did Embracer shut the other people down instead of having them like either letting them buy themselves out, or maybe they were trying to shop it around and nobody wanted it?
that's probably
And
what happened, right?
so you think
Certainly it's better
they
to
exhausted,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just so that you think they just exhausted all of their like options for people who would potentially want to buy them and nobody pulled the trigger. So they said F it.
Yeah, I mean, usually you try to sell an asset as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Before you shutter an asset, right? So it certainly would have helped. The other thing you can do is say, hey, we'll just lend the studio to somebody else to make a game, right? So that also happens. But
Which is
apparently they
basically what they
couldn't
did
do
with
anything.
Crystal and Idols.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And Eidos, for instance, isn't making their own game anymore, and they let go of a lot of people. Unfortunately, that kind of sucks. Um, so yeah, and a part of this could also be they're shedding a bunch to make themselves more attractive for a purchase themselves, right? That's always a thing, right? Embracer might be looking to be acquired as well. But yeah, that I don't know what to make of it until it actually works,
Mhm.
right? So they went
Yeah.
on a buying spree on the assumption that they could do something with it with some potential future things that were coming that never happened, and they kind of have to deal with the outcome of that, right? And have to deal with the fallout of it. So I don't know what this ends up looking like, right? So is Beacon sort of self-financed? Is like, it sounds like they kind of created their own company and then brought all these studios underneath it. But then who financed it? And does that mean there's a whole bunch of debt that they have to now pay off, which just puts pressure on them? The biggest headache with Embracer was once you buy all these companies, you have payroll to make for 3,000 employees now. How do you do
Yep.
that, right? Where is that coming from? So as long as they can finance it, that's great. But this is always a headache, right? When you have a big conglomerate that has capital that can at least sustain that business for, say, a couple of years. The basic headache with any of these things is games take a long time to make. And so you have to be able to sustain them for, like, let's say 3 years before you get any return. If you can't do that, you're going to be in trouble, right? It's unfortunately the way it is. So I don't know what this looks like, how it's structured, how well they, what ongoing revenue they might have. They're obviously working on some games already. Hopefully those are publisher based deals, so that somebody else is financing them, so they have money rolling in. Yeah, again, I don't know what the overall for this is, because it could be in a year Saber shuts down again. Like, we don't know, right? I hope for the best for them, but unless we see this actually pan out 5 years from now, I don't know what it means, right? So,
Yeah.
but look, the world of gaming has to, like, kind of stabilize, right? That they kept rising. Eventually, you're gonna hit a ceiling, and they hit that ceiling, and now they kind of have to stabilize, which means there will be, like, a bunch of people who will close out, right? And they'll have to just absorb that. So hopefully this is a good thing. Hopefully this works out, and these studios can continue to make games and everything's okay. But we'll see, right? I don't know what happens to Embracer after this. I've been hearing the rumor of maybe Microsoft's looking at them. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But
what is there left at Embracer? We know that we know
do they still have Gearbox? Or is that
well,
gone?
Gearbox is supposedly in the later stages of being purchased or being
Okay.
sold off. We already got that rumor before, so that's happening.
And do we know to whom? Is that going to be, again, the same
They
kind of
didn't
deal?
say, they didn't say who.
Okay.
They didn't say
Crystal,
who.
IDOS.
So
They certainly have a bunch
Crystal
of
is
other ones.
working
But
with Microsoft, right? So I would assume that Crystal and IDOS are going to be part of Microsoft's contract, where because they no longer work with people doing jobs for them unless they have like that safety net where they have that option to uh right to first refusal. If somebody's going to buy them, they kind of have that right. So I feel like IDOS and Crystal Dynamic is kind of safe in that space. I don't think they would put as much uh reliance on Crystal Dynamic to make Perfect Dark, you know, if they didn't have that assurance that no matter what, even if they were going to get purchased or closed, they have the right to, step up and purchase them. So I feel like that's why there's no rush to purchase them, I think, on that respect. Um, but out of everybody who's left, is there anybody notable left? Because 4A Games, I say, would have been one of them, but they're out with Saber.
are they part of Saber or not?
Yeah, they're part of that deal. Yeah,
They're
Saber
part of
bought
Saber.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, Saber is getting that, and Zen, which makes the pinball games that nobody cares about except for the people who do care about it, and they spend
Yeah.
all the money on different pinballs.
Yeah, I'm sure they're okay, right? They make those games. They probably make enough off of it, right? Because they have a lot of whatchamacallit, microtransactions, like little DLCs that you can buy, right? So
Oh yeah, tons. They do it. They're just basically Fortnite. They come out with a bunch of different pinball machines, and they pinball heads. You know what I'm saying? they go crazy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else they have, man.
I mean, is Aspire going with them? Is that staying?
I mean, does anybody want Aspire?
I don't know. I mean, they're still making something, I guess. I don't know.
They just made that Star Wars Battlefront classic game, whatever,
right?
that everybody was
Oh my
pumped for, but it's a shit show. Supposedly,
Terrible.
It's horrible.
I never seen any game get overwhelmingly negative on Steam. Like it's worse than Redfall, bro.
Yeah, people are not happy with that thing.
Glitching out, pixels all over the place. That's what I saw, at least, But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the things that they have left, I don't know if they're like, so Darksiders, they could still do stuff with. I don't know if they're going to do anything with that or not.
That's THQ Nordic, right?
Yeah. And then Kingdoms of Amalur, I don't know if they're going to do anything with that either. Destroy All Humans, I don't think that's a very big title, so even though they have it, it's kind of irrelevant. I don't know about, like, is Dead Island them?
Dead Island. Techland? No, Techland is Dying Light.
Yeah.
Who the hell made Dead Island? mean, Dead Island was good, but I don't know if that's.
Oh,
Let me
that
see.
island was made by everybody. Literally, it was jumping from studio to studio, so I couldn't keep track.
Yo, I feel that for sure. I feel
That
that for
island
sure.
for the streets.
For the street.
Oh my god, that's wild. That's wild. I don't know who made that.
But yeah, so that might be one, right? So I don't know if that's something that's of interest to
Mitt
anybody.
says that it was made by Embracer, the second one.
Oh,
Dead
so it
Island
was made
2.
by an Embracer studio.
Yeah, so they might own that. Gearbox, as I said, I don't know if that's sold yet or not, or what's happening with it, but certainly
Remnant
that's
2?
one.
That's a big one. People really
Yep,
like
Remnant.
that game.
Yep. CD and IDOS, obviously, those are still there. Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff available. They're all smaller. A lot of it's smaller. So I don't know.
And even though they shut down the studios, they still own IPs, right?
Yeah,
So,
they
like,
bought like the Lord of the
um,
Rings, for instance. They have that.
Yes, Lord of the Rings. They also have Time Splitters. Remember Time Splitters?
Yeah,
Time
they have
Splitters,
that. They also
They shut down
don't
the
they
studio, I think, but they have
they have
the
Dark Horse
IP.
Comics, don't they?
Oh, they do. They
Yeah.
do.
So
Okay, so
they
they
could keep
have. I mean, there's
licensing those
definitely
games,
there.
those
They definitely
IPs, right?
have shit there that can be useful for Microsoft
Goat
to do.
Simulator, I think that's them, right?
Is it? I can
I
see
think
that's a
it's
Microsoft
them.
game too. I can see that's a
So
Microsoft.
I mean, like a lot of these things could be good under Microsoft because they're just smaller games, and as long as you keep the cost level down, right? Like it might not be bad. But yeah, I don't know what the overall would be, but they have some like you could still license Lord of the Rings, right? That's still something.
How they Embracer end up with Lord of the Rings?
But you mean Lord of the Rim, the whole IP, like meaning they can make movies and everything related to Lord
They
of the
own
Rim?
everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Would that be worthwhile for Xbox to own? I mean, I remember the Lord of the Ring games back in the day that EA made. Was it EA? I don't know, but they made some really good ones back in the day.
The latest I remember is Gollum. Well, that I don't remember.
I finished that game.
What?
Did you?
Wow, you had
Holy
quite the
shit.
stomach.
Yeah, it's definitely about a 6. It's not. It's okay. It's not
okay,
like it's not good. It's not terrible, but it could have been so much better, unfortunately. But yeah.
So Amit says Lord of the Rings IP
Yeah,
is
it
going
will.
into the public domain soon.
Is it
That's
like
why Embracer
2030 or
for a
something like
lower
that?
price.
It's coming up.
Well,
Yeah, it will go to public domain.
Going to public domain. What the fuck's the point of owning that shit?
Well, because you still had like a decade where they could do something with it. But yeah, let's see when it
I
comes
gotta
out.
highlight this too.
Man, if I was Microsoft, I'd just wait that shit out.
Moonlight, like my precious in the rain.
God, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I feel like that's such a waste of an IP, man. Waste of an IP.
But I mean, they could do something with it, right? Whoever buys them, right? So that is a viable thing. 2032.
2032 is gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
and
not.
Then
that gives you a little time.
2046 for some of it, or 2050 for some of it, based on being rewritten. So there's still some time left. But you have to act fast, do stuff with it immediately.
Like, but what game can you make that fast? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't have to be games though, right? Because consider like Amazon has a television series running right now, right?
Yes, they do.
Rings of Power. I think it's them, right? Yeah, Rings of Power, or something like that. And it's just money.
They waste a shit ton of money on that.
They did. It was freaking expensive.
Money. Yeah, they were like $1 billion an episode or some crazy nonsense like that. They said
it's funny because I was like, oh, it must be, might be something there, but watched, I think like one episode, you passed out watching it. I was like, this ain't it.
Yeah, we wanted, we tried. You know what I'm saying? We tried, and it just wasn't successful.
So there's still stuff there. Certainly, the IPs that come with Crystal and Eidos are not, useless. They're pretty good. They just need investment.
Probably the biggest
Or
one. And
what's that other one? Legacy of Kain.
Legacy of Kain. Yeah, but that's not I wouldn't call that a valuable.
Yeah, it's just if you want to use it, right? Again, they're
if
all
you
pretty
wanna
small.
use it to
Tomb Raider's
make it
probably pretty
something.
big. Deus Ex is medium. But yeah.
Legacy of Kain is so old, nothing's come out in so long that it doesn't really have any real world value unless you make something super dope and attach the name to it, and that can kind of boost it up real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. This was just another, another chapter in did you get your chapter?
Oh, my
Doodle?
chapters.
God damn it.
Oh
Just
my
another
God.
chapter in the Embracer
Where's my
story.
pen?
Yeah, I don't know what the future holds for them. Listen, as long as Xbox still has control of Crystal Dynamics and IDOS for the games they're helping on, that's good enough. That's good
Yeah,
enough
but
for
when
us.
that finishes, what happens, right? So
Then you buy them out. If they do a good job, you buy them.
I think Xbox should buy them out at this point.
Yeah, and I guess the question is how much are they worth?
But I guess that's why you wait until that's why you don't do it until you need to. So if you have that clause in there, which means you have first right to refusal, somebody has to make a bid, and then you get to decide if you're gonna beat the bid or say no, that's too much, we're not gonna do it.
Or maybe let them go independent like they did with Toys for Bob and working under the table. Right?
Like their garden.
Right? I mean, that's an option too.
It is.
That's like we are gonna keep your lights on. We're gonna pay for your bills, but whatever you make, we take some out of it. That's business, man. That's what they do.
Is it like a useful IP for Microsoft to own?
Of course. Crystal
So if it
Dynamics.
is-
Tomb Raider, yes.
Of course.
Okay, so then if it is, then they should look at somehow acquiring it, right? And look, the cost it can't be too much since they bought them for $230, right? I think that was the amount, right? For both, for all of it, right? So it's probably worth less now because they've lost a lot of their studio. So the magic number is 100. If it's under 100, then they don't have to tell anyone; they just buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The question is,
I mean, remember you got
that?
Daryl Gallagher running the show over there. That was his old team.
The Initiative, right? That's their studio. I think
Yeah, the Initiative. We fucking forgot about that name.
Well,
we're supposedly gonna see it this summer. This summer it's ready to go.
I keep hearing that like this show is going to blow away last year's show.
Yeah, I think this show is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, bro.
It's gonna be
so.
Oh my God. You know what I've been wondering? What is Sony PlayStation show is gonna look like with no games?
They're not gonna have one.
It's gonna be a PS5 Pro.
They're not gonna have one.
We're gonna show you the console, and you can play games here. What games we'd allow you to play here? We don't know. Find out.
They've all been canceled. But what wasn't
the big
canceled was the Pro.
But the big game is GTA, right? So they're gonna have that somewhere. I don't know if they're gonna spend the money on it or not because I don't think they have the money. But
PlayStation can't afford it, bro.
They couldn't afford Spider-Man. You think they can afford, GTA?
You're looking at upwards of $1 billion, right? There's paying them to get the marketing, but then you have to do the marketing, and that's going to be several $100 million easy.
And then spend the money to do it.
Right. So
you're looking at upwards of $1 billion.
Maybe, just maybe. I'm just putting some hope on these ponies, oxygen tanks. Maybe they drop Spider-Man, this multiplayer, and we're like, let's look at the bigger picture.
GTA.
Let's get this.
It's possible.
Move it towards here, and maybe get GTA is the more responsible business decision. Man.
On something that they know will actually.
That's us helping these ponies out, bro.
Yeah.
Demo flow. I'm digging. I'm digging it.
Yeah, they kind of need it.
Maybe.
Yes.
They're last thing they can look at.
This is like their Bankai, the last resort, like Bankai. Like if it doesn't work, y'all watch Bleach, right?
Bankai. I was told that PlayStation was going to buy Take-Two. Where's that bid? I haven't seen that bid yet.
My God, how funny is it now? Like, really think about that.
I'm gonna pay.
Oh my God,
shit, bro! There's not enough Monopoly money in the world to help them buy that goddamn
I
suit
mean,
or
it's
whatever.
not worth that much. It's probably like 40, 45 billion, but it's like that's a lot of money
That's
to Sony.
it.
Only
Do you
half of
want
their
this
value.
in hugs,
Yeah,
kisses, or sticky notes?
a bit says they're gonna buy Take-Two and mustard.
In mustard.
You know, Sony's stupid enough to take that buy. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. You said mustard
Oh my
packets.
God.
Not even
Mustard
mustard. Just like
Like they
mustard
can't
packets.
afford the mustard pockets.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
See, Mustard said they secretly bought it.
Uh-huh.
They secretly bought it. That's hilarious.
They just haven't
Oh my
announced it yet. The regulators don't need to know.
Yeah. Keep it on the low.
It's genius.
Keep it on the hush hush. Oh my god. Well, listen. I think that's where we're gonna end it with this. Now
Yes.
we do have a surprise for you guys, all you guys who stuck it out this long to come here and hang out with us. We have an exclusive, or maybe exclusive to you guys right now because you haven't seen it because you were here the whole time. Video from the homie Demo Flow Gaming
Let's
that we're
go.
going to play
I'm so
right
excited.
now. It's
Do it.
exciting. Let's see. You see, we're ready. We're gonna do this. All right, you guys can see that, and then we're gonna go big, and then we're gonna turn on the sound, and then we're gonna watch. The following music video is a satire and work of fiction. God damn, it was so fast I can't read that fast.
You've been warned.
I said fuck Xbox, fuck all this Xbox, fuck every Xbox their channel.
Do it.
It's PlayStation for life. Get it? Let's get it. Let's do this. Let's do this, my ponies. Let's go to war. What? Say what? Yeah. I say I double tip on the Last of Us. Yeah, I double tip on the director's cut. Woo! Double tip on every damn release. Damn right. Yeah, Jim Ryan is my motherfucking boss. Yo, and we don't care about no layoffs. Yeah, all the shine are gonna keep it on the low. Talking on every toe. Because Sony PlayStation gets the law. Yeah, so all hell Sony, we be your ponies. You can take my wife, you can take my money. I'm obsessed with God of War. Yeah, hold my pony ready to go to war. The PlayStation high all over my head. Pentimeter PS5, 120 FPS. Blue TVs that set throwing up. I never had sex. I only care about sales. I said what I said. Woo! Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. The love, only love. Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. The love, only love. Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. The love, only love. Yeah. I see you, Xbox. I see you playing on Game Pass for free. Nah, man, we don't do that over here. We pay $70 a game. Yeah, you Xbox be broke. You so stupid, so goofy. Fuck you, Devil Flow. Fuck you. That's right. Yeah, you wanna see me more on Devil Flow Gaming channel? Fuck this dude, I'ma pop in the shot every time. Yeah, but I'm here to show my pony love. And you with it? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Like a
I had to mute my mic. Oh my god. That was hilarious.
That's the Pony Love single for the
Oh,
console
God.
war album.
Oh my god.
Bro,
That's what's up.
Bro, I had so
That was
much fun making that video, bro. Like, I called my boys out, like, bro, I got a bunch of pony heads in my crib right now. Y'all want to get famous? I was like, all right, let's go viral. We went ahead and we threw a barbecue, and then we started, like, creep walking next to us. I was like, bro, that was the life. I love it. I love making that.
Oh my god. That was
Yeah.
hilarious, bro. That was
Yeah.
look at the
That was
ponies
so
running
funny,
free.
dude.
I didn't be
That was
Yeah.
wild.
Yo, that was
Pony love.
hilarious.
Yeah, so let's make that shit go
Oh my
viral.
God.
Basically, it's a pony,
Look.
you know what I mean? Making a decent song to all the
Yo.
Xbox.
Give me your put your link for your channel in the private chat and I'll put it in there so we can get them sharing that out. That's hilarious,
That
yo.
was so good, bro.
Oh my god. That was funny, yo.
Yeah, bro.
Play it again. They want to play it again.
Encore.
No. That one was for free. You got to go watch it on his
You
channel
gotta
now.
go watch
Yeah,
it.
go
You
to my
gotta
channel
share
now,
it. It's
bro.
freaking fire. Yo, the freaking ponies.
Put the link in so I can share it. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
I
yo.
got it. Just
That
saw
was
it.
dope.
Yeah,
All
man.
right,
You
there you go.
know, when it comes to this, what we do, and I mean everybody here present in the panel, shout out to all of you. What we do it for fun, bro. Like this is
Yes.
all fun. That's what I got that disclaimer in there because I don't know if you guys heard that our boy Island Gaming with Jay got his channel demonetized because some ponies were going to his channel and hating on him, flagging his content. And you know what? Like from now on,
shitting?
y'all gotta put disclaimers on your videos. Your content is for entertainment purposes because these ponies are hitting us, dog. Like and you know how dirty they
Motherfuckers
are.
crying.
They
Pony hate.
cry and they get mad. Yeah, pony hate. And so they come to our channels
man.
and on top of leaving all these negative comments, they flagging our content. So this is
Yep.
basically like killing freedom of speech because I don't go to any pony channel to
No.
flag their content. In fact, go ahead. I'm here watching your content, clipping you like you at the barber shop. I'm out here clipping your shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's all love. Like this is that it shouldn't be taken out of a context that gets into a more personal level. It's all for a laugh. It's all to have fun. Like, come on, bro. It's just video games. So why are these ponies mad, bro? So this is my beef with the ponies, right? So there you have it. This is the debut of a pony with an attitude, PWA. So he's gonna be coming to my channel, doing all sort of stupid shit, what ponies do. He may pop here every now and again. So start tuned. That's a new character now. Our new boy, the PWA.
That's
Let's go.
hilarious, yo.
That was so
That's it.
good.
Well,
Wow.
definitely go
Guys, you
go
gotta
to
go
his
check it out.
channel, subscribe, and watch that shit and share it out. I
Share,
want to see it all
share.
over Twitter.
No,
Yes.
if you got a pony friend, show it to him too, bro. Like
Send
play
it
that.
in.
Yes.
Yeah, be like, bro, I'm gonna take you out to eat, and then put him in your sitting down in your car and be like, I got a video for you, bro. Ooh, you gotta watch this.
Demo, you
And
gotta
then you
put
play
that
it.
video, put it in the Discord.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
put it in
Discord.
the Discord. Yeah, put it in
Let's
the Discord.
This
Oh
shit
my god!
hilarious,
So
dog.
a
That's just
lot of
hilarious.
fun. I actually have a more serious video coming out soon because now what I'm doing is that I'm trying to do video clips, music videos. So I got a couple of friends that rap and they be on these shows and stuff, and they want me to go ahead and do the editing for the video. So I'm gonna get into a more serious note, but doing that on the side, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna use what I learned doing this to create content for my channel, to create like videos and music videos and make video game related music. So I was telling CMoney the other day, bro, I got something cooking and it's fire, Bobby. It's fire. I'm
Yes.
telling you,
Let's go.
it is fire. I'm literally, bro. I don't even have a preview. The other day I did a preview here, right? Remember? That was one of
Yes.
the songs, but I had like 10 of them.
Oh, I heard it.
Like, taking
Yes.
shots at
Go.
ponies. It's like the whole like
Nice.
I'm in this like little world that is all like a beef, but it's like, it's all good. It's all like, it's all for fun. So yeah.
That's dope, man.
That's
dope.
amazing,
That's
bro.
dope.
Thank you for
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
sharing
letting us
with
play here,
us,
man.
bro.
That's just dope. The homie Jones did that, man. Thank you, brother, for that $2 super chat. Says, "Damn, the Stable Boys." The Stable Boys. That's a good name. The Stable Boys. I like that.
Oh yeah, I'll dig it. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Oh my god.
Ah, that
Well,
was so much fun. That was so cool, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so very much to be here with us. Thank you, Hargeet. Demo, appreciate you, man. Happy birthday, my homie. Demo.
Birthday.
Go do
Thank
it.
Yes.
Gonna go crazy with the family
like-
now. You already know.
Yeah, man.
You
Well, thank
already
you for spending your time
know.
with us, man. It was dope. Appreciate
I
you.
love
Shout
that.
out to Mr. Boomstick XL who rocked with
Yes.
us. Appreciate you, homie.
Shout out to
And, the
Harky
homie
too.
Hargeet. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to the homie Hargeet,
Yeah.
Let's
man.
go.
Back in the building.
In
So,
the building,
shit,
baby.
We have to we do have next week where we still are finalizing what we're doing because we're gonna be at PAX. So obviously that's gonna change. So I don't know. We might do a Monday show instead of a Friday show. Not 100% sure what we're gonna do there. So we will solidify it. Goddamn ponies everywhere. Look at that. My little rainbow pony in the back. That's hilarious.
You got the Karen pony.
Yeah, right.
Just for you,
Oh
pony
my
love.
Pony love. Pony love.
Pony
Goddamn
love,
ponies.
bro.
Fucking ponies. With that, guys, we are done. I already put demo flows link in the chat, so definitely go subscribe to his channel. Hargeet Shanit, the man with the master plan. Why don't you tell everybody where you're going to be for the rest of your time before PAX?
Yeah, so tomorrow will be Sunday we'll be with Fonz on Fonz Gaming's channel with GameStalk Live. That'll be 6 p.m. US Eastern time. Check that out. Obviously, this is Go Live. Check that out on Game On Daily channel. And if you want more sauce like the Pony Love video you just saw, Gaz put stuff up on his channel, Septic Sauce. Check that out on YouTube. And then next, it'll probably just be Primetime Gaming. I don't think we have RDX back anytime soon, which sucks. But yeah, so Boom, who was on before, his channel, Double Barrel Gaming, on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, Primetime Gaming. And then probably back here, but we'll have to figure out what we're doing, right? Because Thursday is when it starts PAX next week. So we'll have to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, and we were gonna drive, but I think we're thinking about staying out there. So it does kind of, put a hamper on it. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure
We'll
it
figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll definitely let you know. Are you commuting, or are you gonna stay up there?
Yeah, it's like for me, I'm like 25 miles from Boston, so it's whatever.
Oh, wow.
It's like an
Yeah.
hour-ish,
Okay.
maybe 45 minutes to an hour to go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we'll definitely hit you up. I don't know. Monday seems the most likely, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll sort it out. We'll see what's good. But with that, we do have what we do know for sure is we will be back on Sunday,
Yes.
10 a.m. Eastern time with Morning Quest with Doodle and CMoney. It's going to be a fun show. We'll definitely have some fun slander to talk about. And then Tuesday, we actually have Fuzzy Belvedere for her, him, and a guest. You've seen him on the channel, but now he's going to get his interview. And it's going to be great. So definitely come and check that out. It's going to be fun. Wednesday, we do know that we won't be doing Wednesday night our On Point the Gaming podcast because we're actually going to be
PAX is right around the corner. We're gonna figure things out. We gotta, you can't double bang it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're probably going Wednesday.
Exhaust yourself. So we're gonna go ahead.
We can't double
and do a
bang it.
morning
Have to go there.
podcast on
Have to go
Wednesday.
there.
Wild. Facts. So we will we'll be doing a morning podcast on Wednesday. So yeah, the real question is going to be Friday show. What we're going to do with that?
Yes.
So we'll hash it out this weekend. And figure it out.
Not back to back. So we'll probably do it on Monday so that it's enough with the PAX situation. Well, yes, but details to come.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll see. And if we're going to do something Monday, we'll probably do something cool like we did the other time where we just have people come in. Maybe we'll do a night quest instead of a night shift.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Sign. All right.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Save that. You talk.
Yeah.
What's that, Peppa Pig? You talk too much.
All right.
Shut
You know,
up,
it's getting late. It's getting late. All right. I don't know.
That's not too
All right,
much.
so listen, with that, we're gonna end the show the way we end every single show. And Demo, don't just disappear. Wait till after the green room. You know what I'm saying? Once the song finishes, then we say bye at the end. You always leave during the song. All right. We're gonna end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle.
Yes.
We're done.
We are.
Until next time.
You're intruding.
You're intruding.